Just a normal day or so we thought. Suddenly lost control, now you're caught. What is going on? Well, can't you see? You're under the control of Riri, the friendly neighborhood ghost is here to check in on all the lovely souls under her possession, hoping to give herself a taste of what it's like to be not as clumsy. The ghosty girl who goes to game. What she doing, what she playing? Everybody play cool, it's the coolest of the ghouls. Strong will end, a lot of ambition. Can't see through them like apparitions. Determined to bring only the best. Get in the way, be her guest. Riri the ghosty girl steals your body, steals the show. Klutzy and a little forgetful, but meeting her is unforgettable. She's a scream queen that can scare the soul, but guides all wandering souls back home. Give your mind, body, all the more to Riri the ghosty girl. I said it's Riri the ghosty girl. I said it's Riri the ghosty girl. Just a normal day or so we thought. Suddenly lost control, now you're caught. What is going on? Well, can't you see? You're under the control of Riri, the friendly neighborhood ghost is here to check in on all the lovely souls under her possession, hoping to give herself a taste of what it's like to be not as clumsy. The ghosty girl who goes to game. What she doing, what she playing? Everybody play cool, it's the coolest of the ghouls. Strong will end, a lot of ambition. Can't see through them like apparitions. Determined to bring only the best. Get in the way, be her guest. Riri the ghosty girl steals your body, steals the show. Klutzy and a little forgetful, but meeting her is unforgettable. She's a scream queen that can scare the soul, but guides all wandering souls back home. Give your mind, body, all the more to Riri the ghosty girl. I said it's Riri the ghosty girl. I said it's Riri the ghosty girl. Just a normal day or so we thought. Suddenly lost control, now you're caught. What is going on? Well, can't you see? You're under the control of Riri, the friendly neighborhood ghost is here to check in on all the lovely souls under her possession, hoping to give herself a taste of what it's like to be not as clumsy. The ghosty girl who goes to game. What she doing, what she playing? Everybody play cool, it's the coolest of the ghouls. Strong will end, a lot of ambition. Can't see through them like apparitions. Determined to bring only the best. Get in the way, be her guest. Riri the ghosty girl steals your body, steals the show. Klutzy and a little forgetful, but meeting her is unforgettable. She's a scream queen that can scare the soul, but guides all wandering souls back home. Give your mind, body, all the more to Riri the ghosty girl. I said it's Riri the ghosty girl. I said it's Riri the ghosty girl. Just a normal day or so we thought. Suddenly lost control, now you're caught. What is going on? Well, can't you see? You're under the control of Riri, the friendly neighborhood ghost is here to check in on all the lovely souls under her possession, hoping to give herself a taste of what it's like to be not not as clumsy. The ghosty girl who goes to game, what she doing, what she playing. Everybody playing cool, it's the coolest of the ghouls. Strong will end, a lot of ambition, can't see through them like apparitions. Determined to bring only the best, get in the way, be her guest. Riri the ghosty girl steals your body, steals the show. Klutzy and a little forgetful, but meeting her is unforgettable. She's a scream queen that can scare the soul, but guides all wandering souls back home. Give your mind, body, all the more to Riri the ghosty girl. I said it's Riri the ghosty girl. I said it's Riri the ghosty girl. Just a normal day or so we thought. Suddenly lost control, now you're caught. What is going on? Well, can't you see? You're under the control of Riri. The friendly neighborhood ghost is here to check in on all the lovely souls under her possession, hoping to give herself a taste of what it's like to be not as clumsy. The ghosty girl who goes to game, what she doing, what she playing. Everybody playing cool, it's the coolest of the ghouls. Strong will end, a lot of ambition, can't see through them like apparitions. Determined to bring only the best, get in the way, be her guest. Riri the ghosty girl steals your body, steals the show. Klutzy and a little forgetful, but meeting her is unforgettable. She's a scream queen that can scare the soul, but guides all wandering souls back home. Give your mind, body, all the more to Riri the ghosty girl. I said it's Riri the ghosty girl. I said it's Riri the ghosty girl. Just a normal day or so we thought. Suddenly lost control, now you're caught. What is going on? Well, can't you see? You're under the control of Riri. The friendly neighborhood ghost is here to check in on all the lovely souls under her possession, hoping to give herself a taste of what it's like to be not as clumsy. The ghosty girl who goes to game, what she doing, what she playing. Everybody playing cool, it's the coolest of the ghouls. Strong will end, a lot of ambition, can't see through them like apparitions. Determined to bring only the best, get in the way, be her guest. Riri the ghosty girl steals your body, steals the show. Klutzy and a little forgetful, but meeting her is unforgettable. She's a scream queen that can scare the soul, but guides all wandering souls back home. Give your mind, body, all the more to Riri the ghosty girl. I said it's Riri the ghosty girl. I said it's Riri the ghosty girl. Just a normal day or so we thought. Suddenly lost control, now you're caught. What is going on? Well, can't you see? You're under the control of Riri. The friendly neighborhood ghost is here to check in on all the lovely souls under her possession, hoping to give herself a taste of what it's like to be not as clumsy. The ghosty girl who goes to game, what she doing, what she playing. Everybody playing cool, it's the coolest of the ghouls. Strong will end, a lot of ambition, can't see through them like apparitions. Determined to bring only the best, get in the way, be her guest. Riri the ghosty girl steals your body, steals the show. Klutzy and a little forgetful, but meeting her is unforgettable. She's a scream queen that can scare the soul, but guides all wandering souls back home. Give your mind, body all the more to Riri the ghosty girl. I said it's Riri the ghosty girl. I said it's Riri the ghosty girl. Just a normal day or so we thought. Suddenly lost control, now you're caught. What is going on? Well, can't you see? You're under the control of Riri. The friendly neighborhood ghost is here to check in on all the lovely souls under her possession, hoping to give herself a taste of what it's like to be not as clumsy. The ghosty girl who goes
Hello, ghosties! Happy Tuesday. Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys? Welcome to stream. Divvy, thank you for your first sub. And Mac Attack, thank you so much for the resub. For 2 months, a tier 3. Okay, Didi, welcome back home. Thank you so much. You're one of few who gets to use the thigh emote. So my multi-chat isn't showing me Twitch chat. It used to sometimes not show me YouTube chat, and now it's not showing me Twitch chat. So we're gonna live troubleshoot for a second because I really like to see the chat combined, so I'm seeing everyone's messages in order. And everyone's logging in chat, but I don't understand why. Because I don't know anything about the orcs.
Just a normal day or so we thought. Suddenly lost control, now you're caught. What is going on? Well, can't you see?
Angel Cause, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the Ghosty Gang. I would never abandon you, Slime. I would never abandon you, Twitch. Or YouTube. You guys are both great. I just need to see if I can see both of the chats in the same window. I like how I said I don't know why everyone's logging, but instead of explaining it, you just continue to log. That's okay. I assume these videos will explain it. But how are you guys? Happy Tuesday. I hope you're having a good day. My day is okay. Wait, where's It's not my machine, it's OBS. Like, I can't test the multi-chat until the stream goes live. But like, the only way I know how to fix it— oh fuck, that scared me. The only way I know how to fix it is if I log out of Stream Elements and log in. And if I do that, I think it's gonna fuck my stream up. So I'm gonna put I'm just gonna have Twitch chat and YouTube chat up next to each other and see how that goes. If I fuck it up or I go out of order a little bit more than normal, please have some patience with me. I think I'm just gonna start like perma. Why can I not resize this? What is going on? I think I'm just gonna like perma log out of like before I start stream every time. I'm just gonna like permanently log out and log back in because I don't understand why it has so many issues. It is in beta, so you know that's there. Okay, hold on. That was the throne notification, so I need to check that. Thank you so much to whoever just gifted me something on Throne. I was thinking I should probably update my Throne a little bit because my birthday's coming up. And then I realized, wait, my birthday is coming up. So what the fuck am I doing for my birthday? We're supposed to debut the new model, but I still don't have it, and that requires setup. So My birthday is the 13th. But we'll probably do a special stream like the weekend before, actually. I wanted to do the weekend after, but now I don't know if I can. Oh god, oh god, oh god. Oh god. Okay. You're here for Gork and Mork. No, I want to I do want to paint. Someone recommended to me they put it on my throat. Hold on. I was trying to happy early birthday. Thanks, guys. Thanks. No, we'll do something fun, I promise. Someone suggested, I thought I put it on my wish list. Someone suggested the sisters, the battle sisters. So that, because I want to paint each sister of battle like each of the girls from Glitch Stars. So if you don't know, I'm not a talent with Glitch Stars, but I'm a manager for Glitch Stars. And I manage the Dreamers generation of Glitch Stars. But I am friends with a lot of them. And so I want to paint all of each talent in Glitch Stars like one of the battle sisters. And so someone had recommended a battle sister squad set, and oh shit, okay. Divvy, thank you so much for the Starbucks gift card. There's a Starbucks near my work, so it's a good like occasional sweet treat when I'm having a bad day. So thank you for that. And then Mac Attack, thank you so much for he got the battle sister squad for me to paint. So now I need to find paint. So if you guys have paint ideas, you can link it in the throne, and I can put it up, and you can also put them in Discord, so I can get ideas for like paint. I probably have some brushes I could use, but if you have brush recommendations or like any other supplies I might need, please let me know. But Mac Attack, thank you so much for the sisters and for the freaking controller. Thank you. That may or may not have just been bought for you. I wasn't looking at chat because I was trying to find it on Throne, and I was like, wait, where is it on Throne? Thank you so much. My controller is dying. I have an old PS4 controller that I bought ages ago, and then I had another one, and I had a friend in town, and we were trying to play a game, but my other controller didn't work, and my PS4 one was dying. So I really appreciate that. Thank you so much, and thanks for all the happy early birthday wishes. That's very kind of you guys. Truly thank you. I really do appreciate. Oh, and I got my second super chat ever. Why doesn't it show me over there? Okay, you know what? Hold on. I'm doing this the old school way. I'm popping out YouTube chat and I'm popping out Twitch chat so I can see you guys as God intended. Thank you so much for the super chat, Captain Fire Spitter. Thank you. Oh my god, second ever super chat and throwing gifts. You guys are spoiling me for no reason. Thank you. You guys are so nice. Thank you so much. You still have a PS4 yourself, Stick Drift? Yeah. Mine like is doing some of the same things. Okay, Citadel paints is standard but expensive. I mean, I think I'll be pretty good since I do nail art and I've been an artist, but I don't know if I need to get like the top tier paint, you know, like if Citadel paint is like top tier paint, if there's one that's like better for beginners or like, oh, good quality but maybe not as expensive, like that you guys would recommend, that's probably good. But you know, I'll take all the recommendations and look at my options. Plus I can go to like local shops too and see what they have. Then I might you know, I might be able to support local if it's not something that's like gifted from streams. So okay, what else? Yeah, so I guess the next time we do reacts, I'll probably have to do like painting watching people tell me about painting minis so we can paint minis, and that'll be really fun. If I can get everything in time, that could be a fun birthday thing. New model and painting like our first mini. This is the first one I should do. Out of all the girls I'm gonna theme them after, where do I start? I could probably just start with Virus because they were the first generation, but I could also start with the ones that I manage. I feel like either way is good. I'll probably just leave it up to a vote. Okay. Citadel's not good. Oh, YouTube's saying Citadel's not good. Always strip the paint and start over. Oh, really? In your paint? I might have been buying controllers for some of the glitches. Mac Attack, is that your signature now? Buying controllers? Well, I appreciate it. If you're ever at like a meet and greet that I get to go manage, I'll make sure to have you like sign the back of my controller or something. Play 40K on my birthday? I don't know about that, but my actual birthday is like a Tuesday, so I might take it off to have dinner with my family. But if I postpone and do like dinner over the weekend, then I won't take it off and we'll do it on my actual birthday. I just kind of have to see how it plays out. So I wanted to do birthday stream after the weekend after my birthday, but now I have something Friday and I'll be gone all day Saturday. So maybe I'll do something Sunday, but we'll see. This Space too. Oh, that's true. That is a game, huh? Vallejo. I've heard people mention Vallejo. Is it Vallejo? Vallejo? I see the double L and I try to think. Is it Vallejo? I've seen people mention that brand before, though. Okay. Vallejo. Okay. But yeah, if you guys are in my Discord or if you go into Throne and suggest gifts, that's one way. Like that way, if you don't want to go into Discord, if you don't want to be in the Discord community, that's totally fine. But if you suggest gifts on Throne, then that's like one way to send me links. So any paint ideas or any other supplies, let me know. And then the other way to do it is you can throw links in Discord. I guess like the miscellaneous games would be the best spot, but it's okay if you put it anywhere. That way I remember, because I have goldfish brain and I will not remember what you guys tell me in chat. I do my best. I remember some things, but remembering the paint brand names will probably not be one of them. Oh, Fire Spitter, thank you so much for the 10 euros. Wait, no, pounds. Sorry, pounds. I'm not an illiterate American, I swear. Orks hold a special place in my heart. They're the first faction I ever learned about and got me into Warhammer. I love my Grimbush so much. Aww! That's so sweet. Thank you for the super. Thank you for the sip, Shadow. Okay. Check out the West Hammer video. So I'm doing. Oh my god. I gotta heart these supers. That's so sweet. Okay. The videos we're watching today are as follows. Hi Zeku, how are you? Oh shoot, my redeems aren't working. Also, sorry, I know I've had a lot of my redeems off for like a while. I apologize for that. I need to figure out how to integrate them into YouTube chat because I assume there's a way that I can. And I have them off when I'm doing React specifically because some of them can kind of like mess it up. So head pass and stuff should be fine. So let me fix it for you. Oh my god, it's your birthday, Zeku! Happy birthday! Are you a Taurus also? Are we Taurus buddies? My birthday is in 2 weeks. YouTube doesn't have redeems. I would assume there's something I can do though to help you guys engage. I don't know. I was gonna look into it. Okay. Hi Eva, how are you? Now you can head pat on Twitch to your heart's content. Let me head pat. Since it didn't work. Oh yeah, Zeku, I hope you have a really good birthday. Okay. Let me show you guys what we're watching. I think I linked it in the YouTube video. Army Painter, Vallejo. Vallejo and Army Painter seems to be YouTube chat's favorites. And then other people are saying Twitch was saying Citadel, maybe. I'll do my best to remember. Okay, so today you guys have recommended Mr. Bones 40k for a while. So I think this is the first Mr. Bones 40k video we're finally gonna check out. Citadel contrast paints are good. Okay, thanks. Donna, I appreciate it. It's a week before your birthday and the first like so many birthday buddies. Well, thanks for coming in, Commander. I hope you have a good birthday if I don't get to wish you happy birthday. It's funny because there's my birthday and then a week after is my brother's birthday. And then a few days after is my niece's birthday. And then a week after that is my best friend's birthday. I also have one of my other friends' birthday during that time period. So I get really, really busy come May until like mid-June. I have like 8 different birthdays. 9 different birthdays in the span of like 6 weeks. And then, yeah, it's just a lot. So I'll be very busy. My streams will probably be like 3 or 4 streams a week for until like mid-June. Oh, I have my niece's birthday party, and then I have my sister's baby shower because my nephew will be born in July. So there's so much happening. Yeah, so there's so many birthdays. Yeah, so we're gonna check out Mr. Bones 40k Every Orc Clan Explained. We're gonna check out this one, Why Anyone Can Love Orcs in Warhammer 40k. You guys recommended both of these on Discord, and they seemed like good little short intros. And then we're sticking with the classic like Orks Adric because I've been enjoying watching their podcast and how they present the content. I know this one's a bit older, so maybe like they do things differently now, or maybe the lore has changed a little bit. I'm torn though, because I kind of thought I would start with the short videos and then end with the long one. But now I'm like, oh, but the long one's probably like Adric is probably a good starting point. I don't know. Now I'm torn. My instinct was to go in this order, but now I'm a little torn. So, Gaijin Goomba. Tell people to find another month to get busy in August, September. Yeah, why does everyone want to get busy when it's back to school month? Your dad, you and your brother, all within 10 days. Oh, it's hard, man. At least you get to eat a lot of good food during that time. Recommended 3 good starting books on Throne. Oh, good to know. Yeah, I am interested in reading some books. It takes me a really long time to read books lately because I don't have a lot of time to read, but I'm interested in trying. The most time I get to read is during my lunch breaks at work. I have my Kindle. I've been reading my fantasy smut recently though, but you know, I could take a break from my stupid young adult fantasy smut, and I guess I could read about 40k. I could do it. No, but for real, I've been reading the same book since January. It's taking me so long to get through it because I don't have time anymore. I read during my lunch break at work. And then I try to read at night before bed, but I've been so tired that I just like get in bed. Oh, 40k smut though. See, now you guys are thinking with the right head here. The orcs are completely comic relief. Horrifying in their own right, but they compensate for the amount of goofiness and shenanigans. Gork and Mork beat up other warp chaos gods. Okay. Primarchs have most of the good books. Okay. Okay. I'm going to start with the short ones. We're going to go with these. I'm going to go with my gut. I'm going to go with my instinct. We'll start with Mr. Bones' video, and we'll go from there. There was something I got copyright on last time. I don't remember what it was. I had to take it out of stream. I don't know why I'm just remembering that right now, but Adric's a good overall summary. That's what I was thinking. Yeah. So, you're gonna like, okay, Zeku, thank you. Enjoy your day. Happy birthday again. All right, it should be good volume, but if you guys think it's too loud or too quiet, let me know. I'm paying attention, but I checked And for the first video, at least, we should be good. So fingers crossed.
Grand unifying
Oh.
Hi, I'm Arthur. And when it comes to the
Hi,
setting
Arthur.
of 40k, the grand unifying idea I've seen almost across all avenues of the fiction, the fandom, and even the playbase of the game itself is the single sentence, man, orcs are really cool. And yeah, no, they are pretty cool. They are probably the most universally appealing faction in the game, and also the most versatile faction to exist, as they tend to occupy multiple different hats that exist in the setting. Do you want to have a goofy army of little dudes with wacky shenanigans going on in the background? Do you want to have an ultra serious, horrifying mob of raging brutes? Do you like twisted metal? All of these are options. Though, there is some comedy in the fact that it all eventually gets funneled down in sort of this bottleneck effect that even if you run an entire shooting army, you're still going to be better at melee than you are at shooting. I have seen so many different options that are supposed to be shooting orcs that end up just being melee orcs with good shooting weapons. It's incredibly funny. A good example is I play a weekly game with a friend of mine at the local game store. So we bounce back and forth between 40k and AOS periodically. This kind of bouncing leads to some oddities, like him getting a unit of Deathcopters because he plays orcs. And we found out that they were kind of a ranged unit. That's what we thought at first, you know, rocket launches, copter rockets, and they have high mobility and are meant to zip around. And eventually we found out why they were sucking every game is because, they also just have fantastic melee. So we found out that that was just the best way to use them, is to shoot at you, probably miss most of your shots, and then charge into melee and then hit them with the rotor blades of the helicopters. I think it's really cute. But my adoration and your adoration for the orcs of 40k is besides the point. Let's talk about the different clans of orcs. So a clan is essentially a sort of ingrained brain chemistry that comes with some orcs.
Are there 4 different clans? It looks like there's more than 4. But if I had to pick one from this image alone, I'm picking the blue one. Because I like blue. And that little logo seems kind of badass with the skulls dangling from it like a pair of balls. It's very phallic. I like the blue one.
Orcs. Since orcs reproduce by emitting spores that grow into other greenskins, you kind of have a commonality between these greenskins. If you are an orc born from the spores of a blood axe orc, then you will likely be a blood axe orc. So it's a genetic memory, as well as sort of a cultural meme kind of dealio. In general, orc clans are just memes. So do with that information what you will. With this video, I want to discuss every major clan here. There are a bunch of minor clans that have microcultures, but I really don't want to touch on them too much because they're just mostly deviations on the main branches. So yeah. Side note, orc clans can work together to become massive WAs, and usually there are issues with some clans working with others. See the snake bites to understand what I mean, but in general, orcs tend to stick to their own clans and only really communicate with others in order to gain new tech, info, or just crack some skulls and prove who is in fact the biggest and the bestest. One of my favorite examples of 2 orc clans coming together to make a mighty WA to go fight humans is in the Warhammer Adventures book.
What is a mighty WA? What does that mean? Did I miss? What is a WA? It means war. Oh, war. I said it would. I mean, I didn't say I wanted them because they were dick-shaped, but I appreciate that their logo was kind of phallic. Wah sounds like war, but shouted. Wah! Oh. Yeah, okay, I see that now. Got it. So it just means war. Big fights. Wow, why is YouTube so delayed? Holy shit. Hold on. I think I have a setting for that. Cancel. Stream settings. Stream latency. Oh. Never mind. I can't change it. Well, I'll take a look at it after stream and see if it's more delayed than Twitch. But So it means a law is an army or a holy crusade or pub crawl or half religious fervor, half giant migration. Imagine when a sport riot exists. Oh, like when everyone runs onto the field. Orc for war. Okay. Sometimes an orc leader can unite clans. Oh, interesting. Big giant hype wave. Okay. It's a cultural phenomenon. I understand. Apocalyptic scale. Whole civilization. Oh, jeez. Okay. Genghis Khan uniting the Mongols and conquering the largest land empire ever. That's a law. It's a law. I did try screaming it. Was that good? Did I do the orcs proud with that one? I put my all into it. I felt it. A sport riot is a good description. I think I get it now. That's a proper one. Thank you. I'm pretty good at what I do. So very nice. Raps on like 9 out of 10. Thank you, Plumpy. Thank you. Everyone agrees. Okay. All right. Anyway.
Books, which is the Warhammer for Kids books. You remember those? Yeah.
Wait, I want to
the
go back a
Warhammer
second.
Adventure. 2 orc clans coming together to make a mighty war to go fight humans is in the Warhammer Adventures books, which is the Warhammer for Kids books. You remember those? Yeah. Went through all of them recently, and that was fun. But regardless,
there are kids books?
There is a clan of Bad Moon derivatives as well as a clan of Snakebite derivatives.
Wait, so you're saying I can give my niece Warhammer books and my sister will not know that I'm giving her something nerdy? How old does one need to be for these kids' books? She's turning 3. I'm so ready.
Derivatives, and they end up being unified into one massive mob because the war boss of the Bad Moons clan just fucking explodes the war boss of the Snakebites with a cute little trick of hiding a grenade in his palm and pulling the pin. I'm going to cover the Warhammer for Kids books a bit more in depth at some point, but this is just to show an example of 2 clans being unified under one war boss, as the war boss of the Bad Moons clan ended up taking over both clans. Before I get into the first clan and discuss these sequentially, of course, I want to promote someone that I think you all should go check out. No, I'm not sponsored. They're just a friend of mine, and honestly, I think they make significantly better content than I ever could. They are super, super high quality, but also very underrated. If you follow me, you've probably seen me show up on their channel at least once, and kudos if you did, but you know, if not, go and try and find me. This is Mishmash Painting. They do a lot of really fun videos on paint schemes, lore of paint schemes, and they also
have you guys watched them?
Really casually super funny. So if you could go check them out, that'd be really cool. The reason why I'm doing this is because their most recent video on the silliest Space Marine color schemes, I really think that is an underappreciated video, and that definitely needs to do more numbers because I think it was really, really good. So go check them out. If you like my content, you're gonna love theirs. Okay. So
have you guys watched any of their stuff? Would they be a good channel for like checking out painting? You've watched them painting? Ow! Sorry, I just smacked myself. I was cutting my nail off. If you guys have good painting videos, recommend them. And the kids in the books do not have fun. The kids' books insist it's possible to have fun. Oh. Okay, well, I'll have to check them out for my niece. No, that's okay. That's okay, Iron. No problem.
Without faffing about any further, let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
The Blood Axes.
Blood Axes.
I'm gonna break the YouTube meta here for a minute and just come out and say my favorite first. I love the Blood Axes. The Blood Axes are, contrary to their name, the least orky orcs in the 40k setting. They are a faction of orcs that actually tries to learn how to incorporate other tactics into their combat style, other than just screaming at the top of their lungs and charging at you ass first and mad as hell. So I'm a big fan of that to start, but their models are always super damn fun. There is this thing in 40k, and this
Red.
extends to pretty much any of the factions that has existed since the beginning of the game, where each of the original factions, sub-factions, has a model to represent the differentiation between each individual faction. So with the Blood Axes, you have the Commandos. The Commandos are a weird unit. They are a stealthy orc unit that specializes in ambush tactics with smaller choppas that are sharpened rather than being weighted. Now, smaller choppas still means that they are about the size of a longsword for a human, but hey, for an orc, that's pretty subtle. The Blood Axes are all about ambush and scout tactics, which leads to it being the least orky way of fighting, which in the eyes of other clans actually comes off as cheating to some degree and kind of ruining the sport of a good scrap. They honestly think the Blood Axes are a bunch of dirty cheating gits who don't know how to get stuck into a proper scrap, which is so funny because before the Goths, the Blood Axes were considered the most dangerous group of orcs out there due to them having a slightly higher IQ than just 5, which is way better than what a regular orc has, right? I love them. They actually use camo and don't really have a set color scheme, though they do tend towards a little bit of red every now and then. And do prefer ranged weapons some of the time, not just using them out of necessity, but yeah, what's next?
Okay.
The Death Skulls.
Oh, okay.
The Death Skulls are up there as well as one of my favorites of the orcs, but do get edged out just a
They sound so metal, just like me, right? Death Skull. I sound like I would fit in with the Death Skulls for sure. For sure. Yeah, I got gifted the set of Battle Sisters, so I'm gonna try painting them on stream sometimes. OP based. Sneaky gits painting themselves purple. The commando skulls, the orcs engage in war as pure sport. The best part is orcs don't even Blood Axe stealth. I blow up wall. You run in and yell law loud as you can. Everyone inside's distracted. Because now there's a hole in wall. I see. Death. What did I say? I already forgot their name.
As well as one of my favorites of the orcs, but do get edged out just a little bit by the Blood Axes, as they are right proper orky, but they have some weird quirks to them. In short, they are the lucky blue gits, where they have an obsession with scrounging for supplies and looting battlefields after wars in order to get better tools and materials to construct the monstrosities they refer to as walker mechs, which have more in common with garbage trucks, with about 1350 caliber sniper rifles mag welded to the sides using strings to pull the triggers from the cockpit of said vehicle at random intervals than they do with a Gundam, but hey, who am I to call them liars? Especially if it gets results. They also are kind of hated by orcs like the Blood Axes are, but the reason these guys are hated is specifically because they just keep stealing shit. It's a running gag that if you have anything unattended to, they are just gonna gun you down and take it without anyone being the wiser. No one is safe. Orcs from other clans, orcs from their own clan, humans, Tau, everything. They just want the shiniest Daka. In general, the main unit used to represent the Death Skulls is obviously the Ludas, but they also have a lot of looted wagons and trucks. Oh, and one of my favorite parts about their lore is they have a lot of blue face paint as well as tattoos. The tattoos are usually forced upon their Gretchens and Grots, which is used as either cannon fodder or to reload the anti-tank rifles affixed to their garbage truck monstrosities they constructed, but hey, it all works out in the end. They're especially lucky because they're blue. The Goths.
I love them.
The Goths are more or less on the opposite end of the spectrum as the Blood Axes. They are quite literally the most orky orcs that ever lived. They are also the most numerous of the orc clans out there and present the biggest threat of all the orcs in the setting. There are numerous reasons as to why, but the main thing is, for one, they follow the orkiest way of living, which is the biggest guy calls the shots. And there is no guffing about it. They actually tend to make the biggest orcs pretty naturally from their own special breed breed of spores, and because of that, in mixed tribes, often the orc that calls the shots, the war boss, is actually usually a goth of some sort, or at least from the goth's lineage. They create the biggest and the meanest mobs in the setting. They also have the biggest war boss, likely, in orc history, outside of when they were quirks, which we don't truly have a scale for the quirks, so I do have this kind of fun feeling that if Gazgul Mag Uruk Thraka found a way to fight a quirk, it would probably be a close fight on either side. Yeah, the goths are the ones that have the most notable orc in the entire setting, and that is, of course, Gazgul Thraka, a massive orc who spearheads the goths and has actually taken up this surprisingly reasonable stance for an orc, which is that if you want to work under the goths, it doesn't matter which clan you actually come from, they will take you in, which, from our perspective, the idea of rallying multiple individuals under the same banner might not seem all too big a deal, but for orcs, that is surprisingly a high level of not killing each other at every single chance you get they are exhibiting there, which is exemplary. The way the goths fight is pretty brutal. They fight like how the horror-y orcs tend to fight in most settings, which is unrelenting savagery, and they have a lot of sadistic qualities in them that are not as on display in other clans. They enjoy a good fight and a good scrap like any other boy, but they also enjoy the entertainment aspects of warfare. And what do they find entertaining? Torture, mostly. I remember a few scenes in a few books of them forcing humans that they have captured into fighting full-grown orcs using oversized orc weapons, which definitely went the way that you assume it would. They tend to mob up in large numbers, with many different squads of boys and knobs throwing around their weight like it doesn't matter at all. The biggest hurdle with them is they are going to overwhelm you with vast numbers. The unit I'd say represents the goths the best is, oddly enough, the war boss, or knobs. The bigger boys, the scrappier boys.
They do
are
look
an
thicker.
aggressive sort and really fun for that. The Evil Sons.
Evil Sons.
The Evil Sons are a weird but understandable concept. See, in Orc society, there are various subgroups that pop up from time to time, like Pain Boys, the Weird Boys, the Tank Busters. These individuals that occupy a specific space that tends to show up in Orc society. These are usually referred to as subcultures, as they are described as usually being based around a single idea that a certain group of orcs tend to like. The one that is most representative of the Evil Sons, and the one that is most common in the Evil Sons, though they do pop up in other clans, is the Cult of Speed. Now, speed cults, or speed freaks as they are often described, have an obsession with going fast, making it go faster, and the color red. Now, I know the orc meme is to paint things red to make them go faster, but I feel it's often not said enough that that is, in fact, just a meme. It's just a coincidence due to their genetic memory that they paint things red that go faster than they normally would. It's not the other way around where things go faster because they paint it red. It's because on some fundamental level, if they did something to make it go faster than usual, they assume it needs to be painted red. Or maybe it's orc magic and I'm just ruining the fun for everyone. Believe what you want to believe. Regardless,
I'll believe
Evil
it's
Sons
magic.
have an obsession with the color red and going as fast as humanly possible, to the point where they field an excessive amount of tricked out trucks, buggies, cars, and bikers, as well as a bunch of storm boys who could not be happier to go as fast as humanly possible with a missile attached to their back. The Evil Sons also love Daka, which is the orc all-encompassing word for shooting, bullets, and just anything really to do with a gun. But they love attaching incomprehensibly complicated weapons to the sides of their vehicles. I should also note, though they do enjoy shooting, that doesn't necessarily mean that they like aiming, as they just like the loud bang noise that happens.
God.
And if something dies, then there's a swift hell yeah uttered by the boys, and then they all go into melee and finish up the bloody business that they enjoy embarking upon. I really like the Evil Sons. It might also be because I enjoy playing the Bloodtooths in AOS, which is basically the same thing, but instead of cars, it's giant pigs. So yeah, I might be biased there.
So they just want to go, they just gotta go fast all the time. Hello, Ginger. Good luck with the visa. Blood axes are hated because they'll work as mercenaries even for humans and then shoot you with the guns that you gave them. Oh, shit. Okay. Black and white checkered armor. Some have as a reference to when they fought Horus. Oh. Completely addicted to going as fast as physically possible. That's so funny. Orc magic is brilliant. It's the only explanation. Coolest part of the orcs for me is how you can see the design of the old ones in their natural impulses. Big fighters, scavengers, quick learners. Orcs believe the blocks of metal in the shape of a gun are guns and bullets do come out of them. Their aim sucks just like me. Just like me, for real, for real. I wish I could have their mentality when I play Valorant. Orcs only hit their ranged attacks on a 5 or higher. Like on a 10-sided dice, or racing combat game inspired by twisting metal both 40. Oh my god, really? That's so funny. Orcs' power of imagination. Oh, give me. Ah. Allows their vehicles to run. Literally could run with the engine. Just a piece of paper that says room. Wait, what? We'll get into it. Oh, on a 6-sided die. On a 6-sided dice to hit their range, they have to roll a 5. A 5 or a 6. Everything in 40k is on a d6. Oh, okay, okay. Warhammer only uses d6. Okay, okay, okay. Gotcha. I was like, oh, like a 5 out of 10? Like, okay. Oh, I was so naive. I was thinking so optimistically.
The snake bites.
Snake bite.
The snake bites are...
That makes me think. Snake bite. Ooh, ha, ha. Who knows the reference? Right? Snake bite from Finding Nemo. Right? It was snake bite. Hoo ha ha. Right? Okay, yeah, Nemo. Snake bite. Oh shit, you're right. It was shark. You're right. It was shark bait, not snake bite, but my brain had a moment and it equated them as the same thing. God damn. Okay, now I want to see someone make the Finding Nemo screen for the shark bait boo ha ha, but with the orc. With one of these guys. That says snake bite. Hoo ha ha. Anyway, that's what I want to see now. Snake bites.
Weird. Not weird in the same way the blood axes are viewed as being weird. More so, they are weird in the sense that other orcs are a little uncomfortable around them. See, unlike the blood axes or even the death skulls, the snake bites have this weird philosophy that makes them incredibly unique. So in short, if it has more than 3 or 4 moving parts, it's not really something they want to use. They prefer the old ways, using choppas, stickers, and arrows. And if need be, sure, they might use a slugga or even a shooter, but if it comes down to them having to use a death dread, or even a snaz gun, a def gun, or even a killacan, then they are completely out of there.
There's so many words I didn't know.
And believe that everything else is just overcomplicating things and is far too flashy to get the job done in any way that they think is satisfactory. They have an abundance of squigs and squig accessories, so the interesting part of this is there is a misconception about how staunch they are in their views on technology. It actually varies pretty widely, actually, as they do use some techie weapons. It is a future setting, after all, but anything that is a bit too complicated, they usually won't really acknowledge it exists. A good example is to kind of tie back to what I was talking about with the Evil Sons, is a sort of micro cult that starts to include itself into other factions, but is most common with the snake bites is the beast snaggers. Beast snagger boys.
Wait, is this a fucking like half of a shark? That like a shark dinosaur that they attached legs to a fucking shark and gave him metal teeth? That is incredible. In the Cockney accent? Oh yeah, I could hear it that way. Squigs are like their dogs. Deformed orcs that normal orcs use as pets. Oh, why are they deformed? Those are its natural oh, squig. This is a... Wait, is this a squig on the screen? This is a squig? A great white squig? Oh, okay, okay. There, you guys are telling me it's a squig. Oh. But they're pets that they can ride. So like the squig is a horse for them. It's called a squigosaur. Yeah, I can see it. It looks like a dinosaur crossed with a shark. Crossed with a... I don't know, fucking... a V8 engine? Like, I don't know what's going on here, but something like that. There's more than 40 types? They eat them too? Oh god. Most squigs are like orc waist height and not rideable. Oh, so this is a special rideable one. Oh, pets, food, hair. Hair? What do you mean? What do you mean squigs can be hair? Use them. Use a squig as a football? Are they always shark-like though? Like, are they always shark-like? Just sometimes they're smaller. They deform naturally. Oh. Huh. Oh shit, I'm so sorry. Wait. I missed... Hold on. Did I... Fuck. It's not showing it for me, but I see a super chat. Fire Spirit, thank you for the £5 super chat. You combine your orcs as blood axes and evil sons. My orcs are called the Crimson Gits, who paint their heads red to think faster. It has mixed results. I feel like I'm not gonna associate anything red as faster, which makes sense actually, because like, did you know if you have a what's it called? A red car? Red cars get pulled over more for speeding than other color cars because we have an association with red being fast. So, like, low-key, it checks out. Also, Plumpy Crunchy, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the Ghosty Gang. And Full Scope Pasta. Orcs are bold, so any orc you see with hair has a hair squig that he made bite into the... Oh! That's incredible. So it's not always shark-like. Okay. Blood Bowl. Are squigs in Blood Bowl? The red ones go fast. Squigs can be anything. Sometimes they shove explosives and make them run. This is like out of control. The idea of a squig is insane. I kind of love it. Wig squig. Oh my god, this went so far.
Are absolutely insane, and they are just a bunch of weirdly tribal orcs that believe in hunting.
Are they the only ones with squigs?
Monsters in the universe, and through that hunting, making themselves significantly stronger in the process. This has led to them embracing the older ways of war and doing pretty good at it, which you'd think would mean no tech, but no. On screen, I'm going to be showing a couple of their models, and you can tell that there's a sufficient amount of tech on display here, and they still have some decent weapons. It's just that they often replace shit like engines with squigs and squigosaurs and whatever the hell a squig hog is. I honestly love them. There was a good conversion video on Warhammer TV for their paint video of the week that they used to do once upon a time, where they showed you how to convert a Bone Splitters orc from AOS into a Snakebites boy from 40k, and it was pretty cool, and it was one of my favorites. But since they don't really sell Bone Splitters anymore, I guess it's kind of a moot point, but hey, if they ever re-release them, you could go back and look at it. One last point that I want to make about them. I should have mentioned this before. Because they don't often use better tech, they usually have less defenses. So it means no force fields, no power armor, etc., etc. But this leads into an interesting bottleneck effect of leaving the orcs that survive being the hardiest of the species to kind of pass on their spores and make new, stronger orcs. Able to tank shots that would naturally just kill an outright normal greenskin, even from the Goths. Couple that with they also have very weird rituals of being bitten by increasingly poisonous snakes, and using said bites to prove who is the strongest in the tribe.
Holy
it makes
shit.
them naturally inured to most forms of pain. So those two together, and you have some naturally pretty hardy orcs, and that's also where they get their name from, you know, snake bites. There are also a bunch of screaming lunatics that, due to the brain damage caused by vast amounts of neurotoxic serpent venom coursing through their veins at any given moment, they don't really have very developed thinky bits. They're kind of treated by other orc clans as kind of the weirdos of orc society. Rightfully so, I shall admit. Even by orc standards, the snake bites are weird. The bad moons.
So funny.
The bad moons are one of the more interesting but useful clans of orcs. Their whole gimmick is that for some reason their orc boys grow teeth at ridiculously fast rates in comparison to the other orc clans. And why is that important, you're probably asking?
Yeah.
Because in orc society, teeth, or rather as they're referred to by orcs, teeth, with an F, because I guess they're chill like that, is the main form of currency
what
they
the fuck?
possess in their society. You need orc teeth to buy anything from anyone, and because of that, the bad moons are often overflowing with riches and the best gear an orc could ask for. They're considered the flashiest of all gits, and the flashiest of the orcs, and have them.
What's a git? But like, git just means orc? Oh, okay. But so do they like pull out their teeth for money, or they just lose them through their whole life like sharks and they save them? Like, what the heck? They fall out, but do they grow them back? Okay, they shed them, or they take them from other people. Okay, that's fair. That one clan probably steals them, right? Takes them off all the dead orcs. Or they beat them out of each other? You a gets, he a gets, all a gets. They punch him out. Oh god. Bad moons get robbed for their teeth. Yeah, I can see that, apparently.
The most abundance of higher-end weapons an orc can have. It's a fun little fact that successful war bosses will often keep orcs from the bad moons around, specifically so they can beat the ever-loving shit out of them and take their teeth whenever they just feel like it. Which, weirdly enough, because bad moon teeth grow back so fast, and because of how orc society is based around the biggest orc being in charge, if someone knocks the teeth out of a bad moon, they tend to respect that person a bit more than you'd expect. Alongside having the best teeth in the game, they also play the role of merchants, or, well, I guess what passes for merchants.
That makes sense.
Usually they just pay the death skulls for some looted gear and then pay the bad moon mechs that they have to make some new weapons from the looted gear. This leads to them fielding monstrous and horrible guns that are just filled to the brim with a bunch of random bullshit that doesn't really make sense. Like, you've seen combi flamers, combi meltas, and like, God help you, the combi plasma. But have you ever heard of whatever the fuck a snaz gun is? Yeah, that's kind of how they operate in the bad moons. Because they have so much wealth, they weirdly enough prefer the flashiest weapons. Even shit that doesn't really work that great. As long as it's fun and does what they want it to do on the battlefield and only explodes some of the time, why the hell not use
only
it?
Some of the time.
Them to often use massive, unwieldy firearms, as they tend to have a preference for ranged weapons over melee. But as you could probably figure out, that doesn't stop them from fielding massive dread mobs of melee equipped to Death Dreads, Killicans, and the wayward Gorkanaut from time to time. Though the unit of miniatures that best exemplifies the bad moons the most is always going to be the Flashgits. No, not those guys. Though, fun fact, that's where they got their name. Flashgits are kind of fun because, and here is your orc vocabulary test for the day. Flash in orc language means fancy or cool looking. Gits is another word for guys, boys, or orcs. So Flashgits is literally just a title for fancy orcs with weird advanced weapons, and also a mild pirate motif. Oh, speaking of pirate motifs. The freebooters.
Freebooters. They get free booty. Someone walks over and beats the shit out of the bad moons for teeth and goes on with their day. God damn. Is it a shooter? Does it look like a shooter? Shoot like a shooter? Sound like a shooter? Then it's a shooter. Gold is deemed worthless for orcs. Hold on. Hello, message. Can you please Go away. I have like a... I need this message to go away. Come on now. There we go. And it's not going away. Refresh. Well. There we go. Wait. Did I wait. I lost it. Okay, here we go. I found it. I lost it and I found it. Okay, we're good. So gold is deemed worthless for orcs in general, but the bad moons buy gold from other orcs in exchange for teeth. I like that they're flashy and gold. I like that. I like flashy gold. Gorknot and Morgana are the mecha embodiment. Oh, okay. Free Buddha time.
Orcs are kind of an outlier, and I'm cheating a bit by putting them on this list because they are technically not a clan of orcs. They are actually outcast orcs from other clans who band together to make these warmongering sellsword groups that travel the universe looking for plunder and looking to just steal from whomever they can. The fun bits about them is that they are pirate themed most of the time. Like, they have this weird obsession with pirate shit. They somehow picked up the meme of being pirates as orcs and rolled with it pretty hard. As even though they all come from different clans, they band together their mixed strengths and regiments and random other shit, and somehow it ends up pirate. They all, for some reason, have been funneled down the orc pirate pipeline, which I've heard is dangerous for those who want to remain nonpartisan in today's orc political climate. So, regardless of the piratical political compass, the freebooters are literally just orc pirates in space. They were likely created to fill a niche that was kind of in need of filling back when the original orc clans were being thought of, where they are a non-specialized...
Talking about a niche needing filling. I know something else. I know something else that needs a good filling. I can't even say it. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Oh my god. A niche that needs filling? I know something that needs filling. Anyway, sorry. I couldn't even get it out.
Group of orcs who can pull from
all the
clans to make their own thing. Basically, if you were constructing an army back in the day and wanted to play an orc faction with not much of a skew in any specific direction, you would choose these duders.
So they served a purpose.
Good at most things and can still be fluffy, as even though we joke about them being pirates, not all freebooters are pirates. It's just weirdly the high percentage of them are. That being said, there isn't many miniatures that represent freebooters, but we do have the one, the only, the good old Captain Badruck the Pirate.
Oh, hey, he is cool. He's got so much shit on his, like, figure. Sorry if I spit it. Don't worry about it. I was just joking. I am so say-so and pure. And I would never. Yeah, I like his model is really cool. It has so much stuff all over it. Not anymore. Does he not have it anymore? The more stuff he has, the stronger he is. So orcs are all maximalists, is what you're telling me. I like that their nails are painted like teal. And he's got, like, there's so much color. Orcs, I see the appeal for sure.
This man is the Monkey D. Luffy of orcs and leads a pretty dangerous band of orc freebooters. He was once a part of the Bad Moons and thus has an affinity for flash kits and also incredibly expensive looking gear. Well, expensive by orc standards. But regardless, he's very much the most piratey orc model in existence. Which is what I'd say if he actually was in existence, because GW has such an issue with resin models not being able to be assembled as easily as the push fit miniatures, and they are so worried that kids kids won't be able to work with resin properly, that they scrapped about 90% of the resin models, and Badrock was on that list. Goodbye, sweet prince. You will be missed. I really hope they bring back Badrock. That would be really cool. His model was so nice, and he was a character that could be stashed with the flash kits, and flash kits are a really fun model as a whole. The freebooters as a concept are also just really fun, though they're a little bit of a broad topic, considering they're just orc generalists because they take from all of the clans and kind of turn it into this weird pirate thing. And that was every orc clan. Well, all of the major ones explained in a whole lot of minutes. I absolutely love orc lore and the clans of orcs. Each of the original clans that were created kind of give a peek into the design philosophy of original Warhammer. You can tell that the original designers knew that people wanted to be catered to. They wanted the option to run an army and still be fluffy as all hell, even if it had just a bunch of one unit, which is super convenient. Albeit they found a way to do it a little bit better in the modern day, where you can just run a faction as whatever, and in general, most books, at least from 9th edition and some in 10th, allowed you to build a faction from the ground up and do with that what you will. But regardless, it shows a level of foresight back then that you don't normally see from these kinds of things, especially with modern GW being the giant semi-sentient Nyarlathotep style demon it is now that does
that guy's
what it
cool.
can to rake in as much money as humanly possible. In terms of short-term game, they are making money, but damn does it hurt to see them slowly increase the prices of everything, especially with orc models and especially with them cutting models that people actually still want to buy. I know this is a tangent, but, you know, still mad about Captain Badrock. But before I go, I just want to bitch for a second and say, holy shit, dude. I know the new Big Mech model looks great and all, but is it $60 Canadian great?
Holy shit.
That is a bit extreme
$60
for a non-monster,
for that?
non-mounted, non-really that big model. The prices of these minis are getting absolutely outrageous, and I am a crotchety old man who wants to complain about everything. Regardless, how do you all feel about the orc clans? You love them? You hate them? Do you have a specific one? Or do you think that GW jacking up the prices of miniatures is slowly causing a divide between members of the fan base and making it so that a game they want to market to kids is increasingly becoming more and more difficult for people to even maintain their presence in the hobby, even if they have a job, which makes it so that it's difficult for them to market to kids, but they still keep increasing the kidification of certain aspects of the game, thus making things easier to understand when kids cannot possibly maintain this hobby like they did back in its inception or even in the early 2000s. But hey, what do I know? Maybe jacking the prices up is pretty cool. I mean, GW is trying to take all of our money and burn it in small pits at Warhammer World in order to funnel the smoke into some kind of ancient old one that's buried underneath Bugman's bar. You know, smoke keeps it asleep. You know how it works. It's pretty simple.
I didn't expect this tangent.
Well, let me know in the comments what you think. Alongside that, remember to like and subscribe as it helps the channel a lot. Special thanks to my channel members for supporting me, and if you want to support me as well as gain access to additional and early content, then become a channel member today. Thanks once again for watching. And no, I am not sorry for using the pizza time bit that many times. I think it's funny, and if you think it isn't, you're just objectively wrong.
Okay. Alright. Ow! Hello, Yuzu, thank you. Not sold anymore, not usable in tournaments, legend. Orcs are like 6-year-olds. Oh wait, no, it was, the resin was terrible. Oh really? Oh, Alexa, stop. Huh, it was bad quality. Interesting. The best model set is the 3D printer. Oh no. Huh. Base tangent. Everyone thinks the tangent is based. I mean, probably fair. Probably fair. But I just didn't expect it to go off on a tangent like that. Charging $40 or more for a model set and then a few years later making the models not usable. Yeah, I agree. That doesn't sound great. Also, thanks for the sip, by the way, Matthew and Narwhal. I know everyone's told me I have to hate Games Workshop to be an official fan. Like, do I get a badge somewhere? Do I sign up for a membership that I get in the mail in like 3 to 4 weeks? Like, what do I gotta do? Yeah, that does seem kind of shit though. Like you have to buy these models and then to make them not work. I imagine like outside of official tournaments, do a lot of people play with stuff that's like 3D printed that they paint themselves? Because I will say I have no idea how to assemble a model, and that's very intimidating. So I'll need to watch about assembling and painting, I guess. Back in the day, your rule book for a faction was like $20. Now it's $60 in the last 1 year. Oh, geez. You know, it's starting to remind me of Hasbro and Magic the Gathering a little bit. I'm not advocating piracy, but pass me the eye patch and flintlock pistol. Assembly's not so bad. It's therapeutic. I don't know. It kind of intimidates me. Funny thing, orcs used to be bigger and smarter, called the quirks, but after the war against the Necrons, they degraded. Oh, we'll see. We'll see like the whole history. We'll watch the Adric one too. A lot of people have home rules all the time. That makes sense. Because I imagine there's a lot of really cool, like, you know, custom miniatures people would make. Because I know people make miniatures for like D&D and stuff. So I'm imagining people would do the same for 40k. You just obviously can only use official ones in like official games, I guess. Tournaments, question mark. Well, 3D print and play at non-GW stores. Oh, so non-official stores. I see. Okay. Sounds good. Let me, okay. The next one we're gonna watch is Why Anyone Can Love Orcs. I don't know this person, but you guys recommended the video, so hopefully it's good. And if it's not good, I'm never listening to you ever again, chat. I'm kidding, I probably will. You guys have good suggestions, but... Models come with instructions. It's easy to assemble. Okay. Oh. Really nice resin models for models GW didn't make, but then they got merged. Oh, damn, really? Oh. Okay. Capitalism making everything. So true. Okay, let's check out this video. Why we can love orcs.
Hey, you gits! So we've already explored the question of what is orc, and we've goofed around a little bit with the lore and the rules when it comes to the lads. So today, I want to explain how you, yes, even you, can love orcs. Doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, what you did, you can love them.
Okay.
And while I know many of you are wondering where the good boy is, well, this is a topic that comes from the perspective of a player and an orc fan.
Whoa.
Not so much orcs themselves. So I thought it'd be more
game
fitting
is
to
this?
explain how anyone can love greenskins as a greenskin lover. Besides, this video is like 3 of 4 dozen ideas I have, so there's still room to try stuff around and see what sticks. Now, I do want to specify too, this vid's got nothing to do with rules and nothing to do with extensive lore in the 40k universe. We're talking about the clan lore, sure, but this is orcs. There's really not that much to it. I want to explain as a fan and a collector of orcs why anyone could love them and never touch a single game or lore book. Because really, I feel like this is the only faction in the Warhammer universe that can get away with that. Why?
Oh.
Because the ongoing thesis I have for these boys is, hey, do you like blank? There's an orc for that. Also, I want to say up front that I'm...
Hold on. I feel like my video... Didn't I have this issue last time? Where my video was like weirdly dark, and I'm noticing it again. Properties. Huh. Pause. Pause. Uno momento. Create new. What's my browser? Opera. Hold on. Add existing. Hold on. I feel like it's like weirdly dark. Properties. Let me see if this helps. Oh. Hold on a second here. Maybe? I'll see. I think my dream is to be a knight. I don't know. Maybe. Why what, Slime?
I'm not speaking in terms of just orcs sold or created by GW. One of the beautiful things about orcs that I'll go into detail later is that they fit any sort of genre, subgenre, or franchise you could possibly think of. So we're going to be including a lot of big proxy and alt miniature makers such as Cromlech, Gear Guts, and a lot
They're
of others.
Huge.
In fact, speaking of Gear Guts, I got some
Oh my
big
God.
orky news to share with everyone. So remember Orca Nobudaka, my samurai-inspired war boss, and the various flavors of Japanese-inspired greenskins I helped create a few months back? Well,
Whoa.
Gear Guts and I are back at it again with a brand new line of what we now call Ronin Bruisers. Before it was just Nobutaka, some boys, and a few vehicles. But now, we got some Kanabo Basha knobs, a new Banna-waving boy, new Ronin Mad Dog, and a huge update to Nobutaka. Now perched on a boy-carried Mikoshi war shrine devoted to the kami of Daka. Though I guess it's not so much a Mikoshi shrine as it is a Pelican tank with a monotread and a massive bore barrel coming out
Wait,
the front.
that's so
But if you
cool.
think that's all we got cooking,
I love that.
because not only in Gear Guts are I bringing you brand new Samurai Dreadbots, we're bringing you a brand new knot-sized Samurai Stompa, complete with twin Sashimono, Gatling
I
boom
like
bits,
'em huge.
a
Who
3-barrel
doesn't?
shooter arm, and a massive chain choppa katana. What more could you
Oh my
want, Samurai
God.
Greenskins? So if you want to get your Orchid on with these brand new
Oh,
boys of Far Eastern
we were just
inspiration,
talking
hit 'em
about
on the link in the
this.
description and use my coupon code
That's
GIMGAM
crazy.
to get up to 10% off your order. No, I really don't care how much money I make off of this, but the more Ronin
Oh,
boys
you have
that
to
get
download
bought,
it?
the more we
You
can
can't
make.
just buy
So,
it?
Yeah, sorry about that. Just
I don't
kinda
have a
went off on
printer.
weird tangent there for a minute. But it just goes to show that you can make anything 40k Orcian. I mean anything. Like, let me start off with a really simple yet contrarian example. Are you more of a traditional orc with a C fan? Do you look at the world of 40k with disdain because its sci-fi is a tissue-thin facade hiding the fact that it's just fantasy in space? Are you a Tolkien or Dungeons & Dragons Puritan that scoffs at the idea of an orc carrying any firearm bigger than a metal tube stuffed with gunpowder and a rock? Did all of your friends abandon Warhammer Fantasy after the end times and are hassling you to get into 40k because surely GW won't ruin that setting too? Well, there's an orc for that, specifically the Snakebites. While every other orc clan in 40k has their own futuristic spin, Snakebites are like the stubborn boomers of the greenskin race who sit on the porch all day complaining that
that's
things
so
were better
good.
back in the old days, or the old ways, as they call them. Sure, they've got sluggers and bionics, but they're so incredibly subpar compared to what they could get if they didn't shun technology like a community of 300-pound Amish gorillas.
Oh my
They
God.
don't need no fancy shooter or oversized meg armor. They believe that orcs was born with choppers and they should die with choppers. So if you want your orcs to be the stereotypical green tide of pointy sticks, clubs, and swords, Snakebites are for you. Also, do you like magic more than machinery? Boy, are you gonna love the Snakebites. Their weird boys have some of the most bizarre magic in the universe. Yeah,
Oh.
put your hands down, fanboys. I know it's technically called psychic power, but don't kid yourself, this is just magic in space. For example, Old Zogwart. He was not only the most powerful weird boy to grace the setting, he was also the most random. He accidentally melted his own eyes, blasting an entire guard company with pure Wa energy, which is still something he claims they did on purpose. And his favorite pastime is to transform anything that slightly bothers him into a squig. Like that one random wizard in Samurai Jack that turned everything into a chicken, including
Oh my
Jack.
God,
Sure,
I
they're
forgot
not the most
about
elegant
that.
when it comes to magic, but you're not gonna find more powerful, volatile, and schizophrenic old greenskins than the Snakebites. Coincidentally, are you an animal lover? A hunter? Do you fancy yourself a rugged mountain man?
No.
Do you enjoy camping more than running water and electricity? Well, then the Snakebites are for you. These are the orcs that would rather raise a giant squigoth than build a kill tank. God, that's the other thing. If you like giant organic monsters and kaiju, these are especially the orcs for you. because they do nothing but raise giant squig
Whoa.
offs and gigasquigs. But
That's
anyway,
cool.
snake bites are also the most outdoorsy as orcs can get, favoring wearing the hides and bones of either vast amounts of squigs that they raise like cattle, or the very gigantic beasts that they hunt. So if you're someone who loves the idea of living off the land, these boys are for you. Finally, do you alienate people by claiming that the western hognose snake is more adorable than a bag full of puppies? Well, you're gonna love the snake bites. As the name implies, these orcs incorporate the most deadly snakes into their regular rites and everyday activities, such as letting one of these horribly poisonous snakes bite them, then suck out the poison themselves to prove just how much of a badass they are. But let's say you're tired of the same old orc tropes of questionable shamanism and Stone Age ultra-violence like I am. What sort of science do orcs bring to the sci-fi setting? Well, first of all,
I need to see what chat said. I love Gaijin Goombas. He's the orc channel. Oh, so it's like his main passion is the orcs. I see it. I sense it for sure. Ard boys are knobs. Brutes are mega knobs. What's the knobs? Orc word boys can summon giant green feet that crushes enemies. Oh goodness. I gotta learn the orc terminology. I'm lost. If you put enough orcs around a weird boy, what's a weird boy? Orcs push weird boys in front of them sometimes to get them to blow up. What? Knobs are bigger orc. Okay, so there's orcs, and then there's big orcs, which are called knobs. Weird boys are the psyker orcs. Okay. Why do they explode if you surround them? What the heck? Knobs are nobles. But they're big orcs. And then weird boys are the orc wizards. Okay. The orc psychers. Okay, I get that. The knobs and ard boys and brutes and mega knobs are still confusing me. A little bit, but they're like lieutenants. Okay.
really fast vehicles for one. Do you love NASCAR? Do you believe there needs to be more Fast and Furious movies? Do you drive a Honda Civic with a carbon fiber wide body kit?
Oh my
God. Do you
god.
believe that every Ford Mustang needs a lift kit to be considered drivable? Then, oh boy, you're gonna love the Evil
That's
Sons.
so fucking
These are the boys
funny.
that are more about big speed than big fights, and for Orks, that's really saying something. So if you like high-octane speed in any of its derivative forms, Orks gotcha. As far as specific vehicles go, for all of you NASCAR fans, you can't go wrong with the Boondocka Snazwagon. It's basically a Chevrolet Camaro with an M2 machine gun bolted to the side and a minigun that's built into the top. And on the flip side, if you're a Formula 1 fan, you've got the Shock Jump Dragster. Did you ever wish you could put rockets and a Tesla coil gun on an F1? Well, now you can. And did I mention this thing can teleport? Because, yeah, this thing can teleport. But let's say you're more of a muscle car lover. Well, you got the custom Boom Blaster for that. You ever want a dual-engine 2500 BHP hot rod with a high-velocity rivet gun bolted to the top? Freaking done! But let's say you're not so much into the racing scene. Are you a fan of a Rugged Man's 4x4 flatbed? Well, Orks got you covered there with the Rucka Truck Squig Buggy. A flatbed truck equipped with a passenger and driver side buzzsaw, as well as a high-velocity squig launcher. Used by Orks as a transonic fast food squig delivery system, or catapulting bomb squigs, smashes squigs, or whatever else is needed squig-wise at their foes.
Oh my
Just
god.
imagine if you had a flatbed that had the ability to bazooka fried chicken to your friends in the middle of the derby they are racing in, while also being able to launch rabid possums strapped with M80s to the jerk-offs who just clipped the head.
Oh my god.
That's the redneck
That
flexibility
comparison's
that the
incredible.
Rucka Truck Squig Buggy brings. Hey, maybe you prefer mud in an ATV. Well, then you gotta get yourself an Ork War Buggy. All the joys of four-wheeling, but with the added joy of a twin-link LMG. Or, maybe you said zog it to the very idea of four-wheeled vehicles and have more Harley-Davidsons than garage space. War bikes, my friend. There's a war bike variation for just about every specialized Ork out there. From war bosses on bikes to pain boys on bikes. Dude, have you ever wanted to see Dr. Frankenstein on a crotch rocket? Well, now you can. And even for you subcategory bikers who love trikes, you can get on the Orky goodness with Death Killer War trikes.
They have it all.
As a bit of a side note, do you just love the Mad Max movies? And I mean like on a mindless level. Well, you're gonna have the lion's share of choices when it comes to orcs. Guns, gas, and glory, that's all the orc speed freaks are all about. And they're not just within the Evil Sons either. I mean, sure, there's more speed freaks in Evil Sons than any other clan, but there's speed freaks in every single orc clan, so don't feel like you gotta pigeonhole yourself into one or the other. And the coolest thing too is that you're actually gonna find a lot of homages to Mad Max in some of the more official orc cars and buggies. Like, just have a look at the Boomdaka Snazwagon. Boy, don't that look familiar. But, friends, this only accounts for the ground vehicles. Are you the kind of person who eventually
they have
goes
planes?
to every Thunderbird's air show? Was Top Gun Maverick the best movie to have come out in the last 15 years? Do you believe that SWAT Cats was the best 90s cartoon?
Oh,
well,
shit,
strap
SWAT
in,
Cats.
you kids, because let me introduce you to the Death Squadron. No, I don't just mean the legendary comic series that mixes Top Gun's action with orc stupidity. I mean all of the delectable array of aircraft that orcs have.
Huh.
Fan
I
of
didn't
the
know they had
Wildcat,
aircraft.
F-86 or F-84 Thunderjets? Well, grab yourself an orc fighter or a Dakka jet, specializing in high speed and lots of machine guns. Or maybe you're a fan of high speed and napalm of the F-100D Super Saber. Well, there's the burner bomber for that. Or maybe you love the thrill of pulling up at the last second dive bombers like the Douglas SBD Dauntless. The Orc Blitzer bomb is for you. Or maybe you just love the idea of a colossal fat bomber that has enough ordnance to flatten a city like the USAAF B-29 Super Fortress. The aptly named Blast-A-Bomb is what you're looking for. Finally, if you believe that Top Gun and Kenny Loggins pale in comparison to Apocalypse Now and the Flight of the Valkyries, the Death Copters and the troop-faring Chinook Warcopter are the Whirlybirds for you. And hey, with
I guess we did see the copters before. I did see the copters before, but we were talking about how they're good melee. So I kind of forgot that like they could fly. And the planes are new. That's crazy. So weird boys use their own unique magic. It's tied to the orc themselves. More orcs are more powerful magic, but cannon will detonate them because of too much. So is there like a sweet spot, like 2 or 3 orcs near them or something? They're all kind of psychos and generate a psychic field together. Weird boys can use that power. Too many orcs is too much warp power and they go pop. All orcs are latent psychers. They generate more warp energy. I see. And it overwhelms them when there's too many. Who says planes can't melee? You know? Who decided that? Who decided that planes can't be in melee? I mean, anything can be what you want it to be. They make just smashing things together and believing until it'll send them into space and hold vacuum. Oh. Yeah, crashing is just a melee attack when you think about it, so. A flying headbutt. A flying headbutt. Yeah.
With all the stock of war history,
I see it.
Maybe you're the kind of person that just can't get enough of World War II documentaries on the History Channel.
Oh, not me.
In that case, you're gonna love the Blood Axes. See, this was the Orc clan that made first contact with humans, so naturally they're gonna be ones to adapt more human war tactics. Basically meaning, if there is anything in traditional military aesthetic that you like, you're gonna find it here. Want some greenskins and modern flak armor looking like they just walked out of the Iraq War? Well, at this point, that's the Blood Axe standard. Wade Price's Bad Company Blood Axes are a great example of that using regular bits found with GW products. But let's say you want to go back in time a bit. You love the depressing grim trench warfare aesthetic of World War I or the modern militarized gung-ho aesthetic of World War II. There's tons of orcs for that, many of which you can find with Cromlech and Gear Guts with their Orc War II and Veteran Bruisers respectively. I mean, if the ramshackle design of the default orcs is a little too slapdash for you, there's plenty of boys out there that look like they came right out of the trenches. And if you need more than boys in this circumstance, there is tons of potential with orc-looted period accurate vehicles. Heck, the default tanks of the Space Marines and the Astra Militarum look like they came right out of World War I and II, so with just a few orky alterations, you can get them feeling right at home with the time period of your choice. Of course, maybe you don't want the horrible meat grinder aesthetics of the World Wars. Maybe it's the good old jungle stealthing of the Vietnam War that you're feeling. Well then, you're gonna love the Commandos. Stealthy orcs packing heat of all the different 80s action movie tropes. Rocket launchers, sniper rifles, LMGs, flamethrowers. If you're the kind of person that watches all 5 Rambo movies back to back and doesn't get bored of them, these are the boys for you. But you know what? Maybe you don't want all this real world aesthetic tied to your 400-pound gorilla-sized greenskins. Like them and me, maybe you want to go all in with the absurdity of the sci-fi setting. Well, first of all, you're going to need a lot of teeth. Orc teeth that greenskins used to pay their mech boys to build all these contraptions of war. And no clan's got better access to teeth than the Bad Moons, whose teeth grow much, much faster than any other clan. So naturally, they're the richest orcs in the galaxy. And God, tangent for a minute, but do you like bling? Do you need more grills in your gob than Katy Perry?
Yeah.
Do you believe that everything you own needs to have your name bedazzled into it with diamonds and gold?
I do.
Well,
I do feel this
John
way.
to be the bog standard of fashion, there is no better orc for you than the Bad Moons orcs. These guys live
I kind of like them.
with their choppers, shooters, and battle wagons blinked out
They're
with
like
so much glitter and gold you can
mafia
see them
boss
from
orcs.
planetary suborbit. Granted, they love scrapping just as much as any other orc, but similar to the Evil Sons who care more about going fast and clobbering skulls, Bad Moons raid the star systems looking for shiny gubbins more than looking for the next big thing to smash. Now you might be thinking, Gam, that doesn't sound like you. Your drip is far too mid to be one with the Bad Moons. And you would be correct. But it's not the hoarding of the Bad Moons that makes me feel a kindred spirit to these greenskins. It's what they spend it on. Consider this. What do the 1%ers of our world buy with their dragon hordes of wealth?
Yeah,
Some of the
good
most
question.
outlandish, improbable, overblown, stupid crap in existence, right? Well, what do you think orc 1%ers buy? Yeah, outlandish, improbable, overblown, stupid crap to
That's
crumble
fair.
it. First of
That's
all,
fair.
I just gotta get this out there. Do you like mechs? Was Pacific Rim the best movie ever? Do you, like I, unironically love robot jocks? And the one big one, are you a Battletech or MechWarrior fan like me? Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, the Bad Moons are the Lyran Commonwealth of the 40k universe, complete with every single meme that comes with them. With their insane levels of wealth, the Bad Moons are the clan that are gonna have the biggest, shootiest, stompiest mechs in not just any other Orc clan, but any other faction in the 40k universe, period. Yes, Knight players, yes, Tau players, that includes even you. Now, I can see that I love the aesthetics of medieval knights made into mechs with the Imperial Knights, and I really do love the Gundam-esque appearance of the Tau bots. But that's the only shtick that the two have. Bad Moon Orcs? I mean, look at this, and this,
Yeah, that's
and
crazy.
this, and this, and this. You have the 100% freedom to make your mechs as big, shooty, choppy, and stompy as you want. Yes, Imperial player, I see your Warlord Titan with its uniform chassis and 4-hole guns, and I'll raise you with Gear Guts Gargants. While you waste space on the top of your Imperator Titan with your impractical Church to the Emperor, we cover, and I mean cover, that wasted space with so much dock it would make the U.S. defense budget blush.
Oh my
don't stop there.
God.
You want stompas that are more than just orc bots with fat boy moo-moos? Real stompas? Check out this.
What's
and
a
this,
stompa?
And this, and this. All of them
They're
from
big
Gear Guts
mechs?
Mech Shop, and all of them looking like real mechs. And as a rabid collector of all of his orc mechs, I'm going to tell you right now, they are so gorgeous! With every kind of DACA option under the sun. And this is just Gear Guts. I haven't even mentioned the stompy mechs of Cromlech. Look at these. Look at the Clanko.
That one's
Look at
cool.
the Crumpanon. Look at the
Oh my
God Buster Mega Stomper.
He's cool.
I can't stress this enough. If you want the most impractical gun lane mechs in the entirety of 40k, you cannot do better than Orks, and especially Bad Moon Orks. And on the topic of guns, do you listen to automatic gunfire as ASMR background noise?
Oh my God.
Do you argue on public forums that boomer shooters are still the best genre of video games to have ever been conceived?
Oh, I know.
Would you call the feeling of the concussive blast of a Sherman tank 75mm M1A2 cannon a life-changing experience?
Oh my God.
Then you, my friends, you want the Bad Moons. There is no clan of orcs who love overcompensating DACA more than Bad Moons. Yes, freebooters, that includes you. This and their love of big stompy robots is what got me into orcs. Seriously, take the outlandish and goofy designs of vehicles and weapons from Metal Slug, and that's what you get with orcs. Which is why I'm so pissed that when it came to 10th Ed, the only thing the orcs could do was act like a bunch of goths. Just run into melee as fast as possible and chop everything to bits. I hate it. Every army perk, every stratagem, everything that the orcs are within 10th Ed right now is just run up and hit things. Where's the Flash, GW? Where's the DACA? Bad Rook, Flash Kits, and Looters are a great start, but come on! If we don't get some kind of DACA tribe detachment in the upcoming Orcs Codex, I'm gonna lose my zoggin' mind! And hey, you know what? Speaking of goths, let's talk about them for a minute. Do you like the idea of solving all your problems by bashing?
Okay, wait. So the planes have a move called the fly headbutt, where they fly the plane at a target in an attempt to headbutt the enemy. And once the plane loses the wings, They put wheels and tracks on them, and now it's the Mega Track Scrapjet. All planes can melee once. One of the greatest aspects of Ork models is you can literally repurpose anything that you actually own and turn it into a model because it's completely in line with them. Yeah, that's really interesting. Orks with fedoras and Tommy guns as shooters. Very big mobile mechs operated by a crew of various orcs that function as mobile dedicated icons of their gods. So Gork and Mork are the orc gods. Stomp is a giant mech that stomps on its enemies. Okay. Fake fan. That's some good DACA. What's DACA? Yeah, a crumpanaut. Bod, we're learning. So Gork and Mork are the orc. I mean, I guess we'll learn more specifically about that.
But... in the head with the biggest piece of rebar you can get your
DACA's
hands on.
gunfire.
You're gonna love the Goths. Out of all the clans, they're the biggest, bulkiest, and most brutal of all the orcs. And they reinforce that stereotype every chance they get. Heck, the biggest, baddest war boss in the known galaxy, Gazgul Magruuk Thraka, is a Goth. Much to my chagrin. I mean, when I painted him, I tried to make him the flashiest Bad Moon's boss alive, but there I go, letting my biases stay on my sleeve. But there's more to Goths than just monkey brain melee-based tactics. You might be thinking, man, the Goths sound a whole lot like Goths. And yeah, you're right on the money.
I did think of that.
If you're someone who pines after the good old days of Hot Topic before it was ruined by anime and Netflix, you're gonna love the Goths. Not exactly.
I take personal offense to that. Hot Topic has why can we not have Goth and Hello Kitty? Why can we not have Hello Kitty Goth crossover? I can be a big titty hot Goth GF and also into Hello Kitty. They don't have to be exclusive. Okay? Just throwing that out there.
Exactly the goth level of Crow cosplayers listening to Evanescence, but if nothing else, you're gonna find more boys in black here than a Halloween showing of Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh my god.
And on top of good music, are you a fan of 80s rock? Do you like death metal? Do you believe that Kiss had the greatest visual aesthetic of any band in the last 50 years? Then let me introduce y'all to the Goth Rockers.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If you want heavy metal, if you want rock and roll, if you want guitar shredding with a pyrotechnic show utilizing every form of IED known to man, you are going to love the Goths. And weirdly enough, if you're a fan of Looney Tunes' level of comedy, antics, and slapstick violence, well, I mean, all the orcs have that, but none have more Wile E. Coyote energy to them than the Goth Storm Boys. They literally strap unstable explosive rockets to their backs and blast around at subsonic speeds with the same impractical explosive unpredictability as any classic Roadrunner cartoon.
Oh my god.
The idea of an orc mech's new war invention blowing up in their face and the faces of anyone a 3-mile radius is pretty standard for orcs. But with some of the specific ones like Storm Boys, there's just nothing in 40k that pushes cartoon comedy violence than orcs, and it's just so weird to see that with the Goths of all orcs. And on the topic of cartoon violence, do you like pirates? Do you believe that Muppet Treasure Island was the best interpretation of the Robert Louis Stevenson?
My opera said it ran out of memory. What does that mean? Out of memory? How does one run out of memory? Close. I don't have that many tabs open. I literally only have like 3, 6, 9, 12, 16. I had like 22 tabs open. That's not that many. Feature Drew, thank you. I've had way more tabs open. I actually just closed a bunch today. Give it more RAM then? Do you have throttle options on? I have no clue. I shouldn't. And I have like 32 gigs of RAM, so it shouldn't be a problem. You can run out of memory. It's called dementia. That was a good one, Brian Hall. That was a good one. Okay, well, it refreshed, so we're good.
Original. Do you constantly find yourself being a loner and even a gaggle of like-minded peers?
Wait, is 22 tabs a lot? Who are you and why am I here? 22? I feel like 22 is like not that big. What browser? I'm using Opera. So when I stream, I use Opera GX because it was a lot lower on the GPU. And up until like a couple weeks ago, I had a 1080 Ti still, but I went ahead and bought a 5070, so it probably doesn't matter now, but Opera GX is what I got running whenever I stream. The most I've ever had open is what? Oh, man, I had my notes for each of my talents earlier open, and I had my management notes, and I had something else open, and like I've got way too much happening. I can't. How do you live? How does anyone live with just 5 tabs open at a time? What the hell? What? My Google Chrome has way more than 22 tabs, but I close my Chrome like a lot, so. Well, you have 22 open as well? See, right? You consider 5 a lot? Oh god. Okay, but to be fair, like, okay, so I just closed my two Gmails, because one is my stream Gmail and one is my work, my Glitch Stars work Gmail. So I closed those. So I have my calendar open. I could close that, but I have to reference my calendar all the time. And then I have my Twitch like creator dashboard, and then so that's a tab, and then I have my YouTube creator dashboard, so that's a tab, and then I have my Twitch following, so that's a tab, because I need to be able to check that when we go to raid. And then I have like ongoing shit, like I have a Fiverr thing that I want to commission, and I have a VTuber like add-on thing that I want to throw on here, and I have my like my management like clip Trello thing that I have to check, and then I have like another thing I have to turn in, and then I have the throne because we were looking at that earlier, and then I have, what is that? And then I have, well, I could close the budget sheet, that's fine, but like, you currently have 150 tabs? Holy fucking shit. Okay. I really thought I was doing so good at like 20-ish. Whatever you say, Grandma, time for bed. Yeah, how do you go? How the hell do you go your whole life with 4 tabs? I'll open 4 tabs within the first 5 minutes that I turn on the computer. Crappy optimization. Modern browsers have memory leak. If you have your browser open for too long, it just sucks up. You have to close it and restart it. I mean, I did restart my computer yesterday. And I don't know. I've just never seen that issue, but it's all good. It's all good. Even if you need to open it later, close it. But the thing is, if I close it, I'm never going to find it again. I'm going to forget. Like, I can't just close it. If I need to do something with the tab, it's got to stay there. Or else I, like, out of my head. I think I have, like, I have inklings that potentially maybe I have like a little bit, tiny bit, like, but there's possibility. There are some signs and symptoms that I could have ADHD, like a minor amount of it. Perhaps I'm not going to self-diagnose, but there are some signs there that maybe, and one of them is the fact that I have a million things going on at all times, and if I close the tab, I won't, that thing no longer exists to me anymore. I lack object permanence like a cat. Put it in favorites, bookmark, pin it, but then I won't see it. Also, my bookmarks and my favorites are, they need me to hire a professional organizer, so. Okay, chat, look, I'll work on it, okay? I'll work on the tab thing. I'll work on it. See, like, if it's a recipe, I'm good with that because I'll save it. But, like, all of this stuff that I look at every day, I'm like, I can't close it. I need to remember to check it every day. I do have ADHD, but I refuse to believe this has anything to do with it. Oh, there are other things. I was just kind of jokingly memeing about that. Because I will forget it.
Do you cosplay Jack Sparrow with an unhealthy regularity? Then hoist the sails, lad, cause you are a pirate! See, the funny thing about freebooters is that they're technically not a clan. They're a collection of different orcs from different tribes who just never fit in or cause too many problems.
I do like that,
so they either exiled themselves or were kicked out of their clan, rallied back together, and became the greatest buccaneers in the galaxy. Camp Badrook, for example, the greatest freebooter, used to be a bad moon orc, but he got so rich and braggy that he was eventually kicked out of the clan. Then there was Zodgrod Wartsnaga, who had the most bizarre habit of any runt herd orc. He actually liked the grots and snotlings that were under his care. So much so that he was thrown out of the Snakebites clan and became another legendary freebooter. You know, kind of like how real pirates got their start as outcasts from society who finally found unity in being a pirate.
True.
But unlike real pirates, every single lovingly stupid trope with pirates is going to be found in the freebooters. They're orcs that plunder the Milky Way galaxy in the most violent ways possible. I don't know how else to explain these boys. Peg legs, West Country accents, cannons, nautical themes, and their outfits, vehicles, and stompy bots. There is so much out there in the world of third-party design and printing that you could easily make a massive army of swashbuckling boys if you got salt water running in your veins. Finally, are you paralyzingly superstitious? Do you believe in lucky pennies and broken ear curses? Do you believe that possession is 9/10 of the law? Is GTA your favorite game of all time? Then you're gonna feel right at home with the Death Skulls.
The Death Skulls. I like
that
them.
Colors give different things different properties, such as red vehicles go faster, yellow bombs make bigger booms, or black armor is tougher. With each clan living for one color, no clan takes it to extremes greater than the Death Skulls. They believe in the lucky properties of the color blue so much they cover everything they have in it. Their weapons, their bullets, their armor, even their skin. The only orcs in 40k that do that, I think. But not only are they the most superstitious of all the clans, they are also the most thieving. While a bad moon may be able to talk you out of piles of golden teeth for some gubbin you don't need, a Death Skull will nick your gubbins and turn it for a profit in a matter of minutes. If you thought Grand Theft Auto was hilariously oversimplified and too easy, it's got nothing on the Death Skulls. There have been countless accounts of a Death Skull's boy stealing some knob's buggy or war bike, slapdashing a blue paint job on it, and selling it back to them none the wiser. But above everything else, if you're someone who wants to use anything, and I mean anything, from an RX-78-2 Gunplum model to a Tamiya LVTP-7A1 Amtrak tank,
oh my god,
to a Play School Mr. Potato Head toy as a looted orc model, you absolutely
wait, I love
can.
that.
I mean, don't get
that's
me
so
wrong,
good.
all orcs loot weapons, armor, and vehicles, scrapping them into more orky, thus better variations of what they once were. But no one does it with more fervor than the Death Skulls. In fact, it's been said that Death Skulls boys will, more often than not, try to loot vehicles in the middle of an ongoing fight, to the point that the boys will actually start bickering and infighting over scrap while their enemies bear down on them. And that brings me to the final and most important reason that anyone can love orcs. You can tie orcs into any brand, franchise, or hobby, occupation, or pastime, and for some reason, not only does it work aesthetically, but because of how insane and random the lore is with orcs, it is 100% possible to make it canonically real. You like Christmas? There's a lot of orcs for that, official and otherwise. Especially the Red Gaba, who takes on the role of a green-skinned Santa Claus from time to time. You like Marvel and X-Men? Meshbrain Labs just released an Orky Wolverine not too long ago that slaps incredibly hard. Want female orcs? Well, while just about every orc is technically male-coded non-binary, I mean, they are mushroom creatures after all, it's entirely possible to have a weird boy orc who thought those Sisters of Battle could fight pretty zoggin' good and start taking on feminine traits due to how Wa energy works. Like Batman? There's an orc for that. Like Ghostbusters? There's an orc for that. Like cowboys? There's an orc for that. Are you a classy redneck? There are plenty of orcs for that. Do you like Blade? There's an orc for that. You like Predator? Not only is there a Predator orc, but there's plenty of orc-adjacent characters from the original movie.
People have
like TF2? Good lord,
a lot of
fun
for that. With the creativity of the orcs.
Join up with the Red Grot Revolution against to oppress the orcs. Fan of Star Wars? Oh please, there are armies of orcs for that. Fan of DuckTales? There's a Gizmo Duck orc for you. God of War? There's an orc for that. Star Trek? There's an orc for that. Dragon Ball? There's an orc for that. Football? There's an orc and a game for that. Valentine's Day? There's an orc for that. Godzilla? There's an orc for that. Samurai and Weeb stuff? Dude, do you not remember what I said at the beginning of the video? Let's make an entire army of different kinds of not just Ronin bruisers and Japanese architecture, but samurai-style stompas and dreads. Yes, there are many, many orcs for that, and not just gear guts either, but I know that Puppets War has plenty of orc samurai in their own style too. In fact, you know what? Let's get super meta here. Are you a 40k Space Marine fanboy? Do you refuse to play 10th Ed and will only play Horus Heresy? Well, guess what? There is an orc army for that. Because you got the Imperium. Greenskins that believe themselves to be Space Marines of the Imperium of Mankind, complete with their own Primorks and the Emperor himself. I'm not kidding. You could be a 90-year-old grandma out there,
so
and I know that
interesting.
there's some way to turn your life aesthetic of knitting into something appropriately orky. And that's what really makes the Orks the best faction in 40k. You can take anything, and make it orky. And not only will it work aesthetically, but in almost every case, like I said, it's completely canonically appropriate and even usable on the tabletop. Orcs are for people whose ambitions are as great as their
I like it.
imaginations,
Very
because that's
creative,
what it
you know?
really means to be orky. As I've said many times before, orcs might be brutal, oppressive, stupid, and violent, but they have some of the
Grandma
best
Orc
outlooks
would
on
go
life in the
hard, I
grimdark future
believe.
40K. There is nothing too silly, nothing too creative, and nothing too outrageous for orcs.
You little git! What are you doing on my show?
Check out me and Gear Guts collab of Ronan Bruiser Boys and Stompers.
You little sogger!
Link in the description. Use code GAMGAM.
And still! What you kids looking at? I ain't done scripting my new video yet. I mean, sure, mate, we got a lot of new orky stuff coming down the pipeline, so I need time to think. So, in the meantime, shove up and jog off!
Oh my god. Okay. I like his enthusiasm for orcs for sure. Alright, now classic Adric. Big fan of how they like storytell and stuff, so I'm excited for this. More like specific lore, I guess. Less of a little overview. Your imagination's the only limit.
Welcome everybody to another episode of the Adeptus Ridiculous. I am one
like
of your hosts, DK Diamantes, and before this episode gets too far, we have to give a huge shout out to our patrons over at patreon.com/adeptusridiculous because our goal, our
it's
goal
old.
of $1,337
This episode's
a
like
month
for
was crushed. I don't
4
think it
years
took a
old, I
week.
think.
I don't think we had that goal for a week, and it's been annihilated. So a
Orcs are all
Lamenters
fungus
episode is
girls.
coming, just not today.
That's
because,
cool.
You know, 2 or 3 days notice to completely throw out all of your orc research and start new research. A little close, eh, Bricky? Little too tough to just do that on the fly.
I mean, I'm pretty damn impressed. For those of you who don't know, we record every single Monday, and the episode comes out every single Wednesday. At least that's our current schedule. And with that, considering the fact that we recorded Monday talking about the Lamenters thing, but it actually came out Wednesday, and now it's Monday again, and therefore within the time frame of Wednesday to Monday, you were able to hit, actually earlier than that, more like Wednesday to Sunday, you were able to hit 1337 is kind of ridiculous. And yeah, I don't have time for that shit. I got a whole orc script, and you're like, nah, talk about the depressed boys. Actually,
Yeah, throw it away.
depressing
You like the
boys.
Adric reaction? Yeah, me
so
too.
that'll come at some point, but that won't come this week. That'll come next week, and I gotta do myself some good research on them because everyone's all up with the Lamenters nowadays, like they were with Kriegs. So I gotta prepare myself.
I gotta tell you, there's a lot of hype going into this. I hope it lives up to it because, I mean, everybody's like, oh my god, the Lamenters. Like, oh, we gotta donate for the Lamenters episode. So you're putting this up on a pedestal. I know nothing about the Lamenters. They sound like they lament
Lamenters.
quite a few things. But, so I hope it lives up to the hype because I don't know.
If I'm
Apparently
gonna be
they're sad
honest,
boys.
Bye,
I'm
Spirit.
gonna be
Thank
honest,
you.
I don't think it will live up to the hype for you. I
Have a
think you're just
good-
gonna
have
be
a
like,
good
wow,
night.
that was sad, and wow, that really sucks. And that's what I feel like it's gonna be. You're gonna be like, wow, that's horrible. Like, yeah, that's about right.
Warhammer. That's Warhammer.
Yeah.
It's horrible. People are dead. People are suffering, and they hate it. The
I mean,
end.
if Goge Van Dyer's Reign of Blood hasn't made you decently desensitized, then
Bad
at least the
boys.
Lamenters will.
Not Goge Van Dyer, good sir.
Doge Van Dyer.
My boy.
Doge Van Dyer, the new channel mascot. I
Are
assure
we
you,
making
sir,
him the unofficial mascot?
I want to make him the mascot. I assure you, sir,
Oh my
he
God.
must dance barefoot in the Palace of Terra.
Get your fan art into the Twitter at @adridiculous of Doge Van Dyer, our new official mascot.
Is it going to be the official mascot? I don't know. It's kind of like
Official.
he's like worse than Hitler. I'm not quite sure. So
God.
with the idea of getting a Hitler variant of a Doge mascot out of the way, You want to tell the wonderful viewers what our topic is today?
Our topic is orcs. It's Shy's favorite. It's Shy's favorite.
Oh, Shy's
faction.
favorite.
She got to choose, and of course she chose orcs. So we got the boys. Zzz, with a lot of zzz. I hear they're very fun guys. I've been trying to push that joke for like the last 4 weeks every time the orcs come up. But yeah, I hear they're fun guys.
Wait, what joke is that? The zzz?
No, they're fun guy. They're fun guys.
Oh, that's stupid. Go to jail.
Oh no, that's so good actually. Wait, that's so good though. That's such a oh my god.
Like the last 3 weeks, man.
That's a 10 out of 10.
I swear to God, Shy. How many times when the orcs have been brought up, where I like, yeah, they're real fun guys.
It obviously wasn't good enough for me to have maintained the memory.
It's not our fault. We're not smart enough.
Well,
it's not our fault.
It's a shit joke. So I mean, even if you got
I
it,
like
probably
that.
like purge, and yeah, I don't blame you for that.
I find it ironic that it's Shy's favorite faction. You know, I would think she'd have something a little bit more brooding and like, you know, angry, but no, she chose the comedic humor of 40K. She chose the I don't want to say the joke faction, but I'd say, you know, the comic relief. And that's pretty cool, because funny enough, as I was doing this research on the orcs, because I play a lot of Imperium armies. That's like my thing. I like the Imperium. So I'm not as familiar with a lot of, I mean, with the exception of Necrons. I love the Necrons, but I'm not very familiar with a lot of the Xenos, the Tau, the Craft Worlds, Drukhari, Orcs, etc. And I was a little bit worried about doing the orc research because I wasn't sure, like, okay, was there a lot of things that I'm missing? And there actually really isn't much. I mean, if you know the idea of the orcs, you know the orcs pretty well. It's just a lot of like little extra things that you can learn knowledge-wise. But overall, if you think you have a handle on the orcs, you kind of do. But there's just a little bit more like intricacies that we get to talk about, which is a lot of fun. And we can really discuss like a little bit more about their culture, about their like physical physiology.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about squigs. I love squigs. I cannot believe that Shy, when she sent me like a bullet point list to help me out, she didn't include squigs because I love squigs. But I'm actually really excited to talk about squigs. We'll do that too.
Okay, so we'll get into why squigs are so awesome.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So should I begin?
Sure. I mean, I was gonna say I have a fairly okay understanding of orcs, just being around Shy so much, and you know, whenever some sort of discussion on Warhammer breaks out on one of her streams, someone's always like, "Oh, hey, DK, you know about the orcs and how they're fungus creations that are like impossible to fully get rid of?" So I feel like I have a little understanding going into this episode, but I'm looking forward to it.
Excellent. So let's start off with orc history, because that's the easiest one to discuss. Now, and Shy's asked me if I can list all 48 squigs. I will list all 48 squigs. I actually have it open right now.
Oh my god.
Okay.
I was prepared.
All 48.
So obviously, I think you can remember from our second episode, we talked about the Necrons and the War in Heaven. So the orcs were one of the many, many races that the old ones brought up. You know, just like the Eldar, they were you know, they weren't like maybe created, but they were kind of pushed along their way. They were helped out a lot, and they were raised up by the old ones as quirks. Now, quirks.
Okay.
Like orc with a KR, quirks. Quirks are, imagine orcs, but like 12 meters tall, like double, not 12, like maybe 12 feet, like double the height of an average orc. And also like really like way more intelligent and stronger.
Hello,
the idea, long story short, is that they were raised up by the old ones, and the orcs refer to the old ones as the brain boys. Because of course they do.
Oh my god.
Of course they do, sure, why not?
And so as they were brought up by the brain boys, they were brought up to fight the Necrons and the Khatam. They failed. The Necrons stopped them from being like genocided. The Necrons went to bed, and then the orcs were just kind of around along with the Eldar. Now, how did we get from quirks, which are gigantic, horrifying, really smart and powerful creatures, to orcs?
Yeah, I was gonna say, it sounds like they're doing pretty well now, but I know current 40k orcs, and they're not smart at all.
No.
This sounds like a totally different breed.
A weird thing I've been noticing as I've been looking up all this research is that it seems that almost every faction in 40k was significantly more overpowered in their heyday and have since fallen from grace. The Imperium with their with the whole what was that called? I forget now. The Men of Iron, all of the major like AI and stuff, and then now they're all degrading. Eldar, Priest Slanesh, and then Orks, Quirks. Old Necrons were way scarier than current Necrons, and current Necrons are like the most powerful faction.
Really?
Like model for model, not model for model, but like every Necron warrior is just ridiculous. But regardless, I don't think there's actually a legitimate discussion on why Quirks are no longer Quirks, but the idea is generally infighting. You know, the Orcs are left to their own devices after the Necrons went for 60 million years, and they just beat the shit out of each other stupid. Now they're smaller and dumber. And that's kind of my theory.
So they were left to their own devices. They didn't know what to do. They just started beating each other up for such a long period of time that they stunted their own evolution and started going backwards.
I mean, that's my prevailing theory. I don't
can
really
see
think
that
of any
theory.
other better ideas, but there really is no information on the Quirks or the way back stuff, besides maybe occasional Eldar snippets, because they're the ones who were around back then. And honestly, it makes sense that they just got their asses beat by each other and they just kind of degraded, and now they're Orcs. That's what I got, man. It makes sense.
It makes about as much sense as anything else in Warhammer, really. I mean, that's not even the craziest thing that could happen in this universe, right? Like,
not even.
Sure, I'll go for that. Yeah.
So Orcs are all have a slight psychic power instinctive to them. They're not like psychers, with the exception of Weird Boys, but they're kind of a different brand of Orc. Orcs have a psychic instinctive power to them, but they are not psychers. I think the old ones were like, no, you can't do that. So actually,
That's
in the
so
interesting
funny.
part of this, the old ones implanted certain Orcs called odd boys with like a special kind of genetic, I don't know, makeup or like mental thing. Basically, an odd boy, there are very different kinds of Orcs, and they all have their own thing. Like a mech boy is something that has like an innate understanding of mechanics, or a pain boy is just an innate understanding of like being a doctor.
Okay.
A weird boy is the psyker. Speed freaks are like pilots and drivers. It's like you were just genetically coded as a child to be good at something.
Yeah. I love that the doctors are called pain boys.
And we'll talk about pain boys a little bit later because they're really funny, but the old ones basically, they made the Orcs, they grew them up, they got odd boys with their own little abilities, and then they beat the shit out of each other and degraded. However, they do have that instinctive psychic power, which is probably what you know as the power of imagination. Actually, let's talk about the power of imagination a little bit later. I want to talk about the actual physical, like, physiology of the Orc and how they how they act.
Okay.
And not how they act, sorry, but how like their body makeup is and their physical attributes first.
Oh, okay,
I want to talk more about the power of imagination when we get into like the Great War, because I think that's a little bit more important.
Yeah.
So Orcs, obviously, they stand at around the same height as a human, but they're very hunched. Like, in Overwatch, like Junkrat is actually like 6'5", but he's all like hunched over and he's like a weirdo.
Oh,
yeah.
Wait, Junkrat is 6'5"?
He's super fucking tall, but he's all like hunched and he's got his head down. He's all like
Orcs are like that too?
Yeah, I guess so. Wow.
Hold on, chat. Just so you know, my model is gonna stop moving for a second, but I'm still listening. Okay, I'm listening, but I need a minute. Okay, but I'm here. Okay.
I thought he was a short boy.
No, he's actually quite tall. But he never stands up. So like a regular Orc is about like human size, around 6 foot, 6'2", like average human male in 40k terms.
Yeah.
But if he were to like stand up straight, he'd be much taller.
Right, but they're all hunched over and shit like that, so they seem a lot smaller. Gotcha.
Yeah. They got green skin and they got red blood. The reason they have green skin is because, yes, you were correct on the fungi meme. They are kind of a half fungus. So when the old ones kind of built them up, their body type is half of like a terrestrial, mammal, so to speak.
Yeah.
Not really a mammal, but, looks like a normal freaking person. They're bipedal.
Humanoid, yeah.
Yeah, perfect, humanoid. And then they're also crossed with fungus. And the reason that they're crossed with fungus, I don't really know why exactly, but because of this, it has sprouted multiple other kinds of orc subspecies. And these subspecies are things like squigs and squiggiths, and also things called snotlings and Gretchen. Now, you may have seen Gretchen. Gretchen are like little goblin orcs. They look like goblins. They're much smaller. They got big old noses and the big old ears. They look like a WoW goblin. They literally look like a WoW goblin.
Okay, yeah.
And then they have snotlings, which are like half-sized Gretchen.
You were just talking about Gretchens.
So Gretchen, like the smaller little
I
guys, are normally used for like cooking and like delivering messages and stuff to the actual.
I didn't leave you guys. I was here.
Now with the green skin or red blood, they have very dull like pain receptors, and often will recover from pretty much fatal damage with just like, it's funny because Adeptus Mechanicus have seen orcs take like a fuckload of bolter rounds to their body, and they'll come back a day later bigger and with just a bunch of scars all over their body.
Oof.
They're just all scarred up and they're just very angry. Apparently orcs have been constantly seen to be decapitated, and then a pain boy will go take their head and sew it back on.
Oh my god.
And then the orc is normal again.
Oh.
Orcs have had like all their limbs cut off, and then a pain boy will come up and sew them back on, and then they're back in the fight.
And they're just fine.
It's really stupid.
So
That's insane.
How does that work? Because like I get the pain receptors and we can recover real quickly from like gunshots, but if you get fucking decapitated, isn't that kind of game set match? Like you could sew it back on, but
Oh, that makes sense, Odious. Fungus are resilient, don't need sexual reproduction, and spores are an excellent delivery vehicle. Makes sense.
like there's a lot of other shit going on with your head getting cleaved off.
40K doesn't care to tell you that, because why should it?
Fair.
But
it's the why, right? It's
a power of imagination, but a slight assumption. Fungus is living in all cells. Maybe it's still living, and then you put the head back on, and then it keeps on living. Maybe it has something to do with the fungus thing. That's a theory.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have
Or see Gretchen when there's no food. That makes sense.
But it makes a little bit of sense.
So we're just gonna say they're fungus. Of course you can reattach their head. Why
Yeah,
not?
yeah.
keeps on growing.
Why not?
You're already suspending disbelief in that they're, fungus creatures that were raised up by alien gods. So what's putting a head back on gonna really do to?
Yeah.
Sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, who cares? I mean, pain boys operate very much on like medical methodology from like the medieval times, from like 800, 900. So it's very much like, oh no, your leg's broken, and they just kind of like saw it off. With like a dulled fucking hacksaw, because that's old medical.
Oh yeah.
But because orcs have such like low pain receptors, they kind of just don't care. I mean, it'll hurt, but it won't be super painful like a human.
Right.
So they just kind of do it, and they're like, oh, I'm back up, I'm good. And the thing is, when an orc actually does die, they're fungi, so they kind of like blow up, and they don't blow up, but they like eventually kind of decompose into a big cloud of spores and fungus on the ground, which will eventually, grow back up into more orcs.
Right?
So often it makes orcs just ludicrously hard to get rid of, because if you destroy an orc invasion on a starship, unless you burn the starship out, you might have orc invasion again. Often you'll have like a planet that stops an orc invasion, but then they'll be attacked by orcs in like 100 years, coming like that made a little tribe in the forest,
Right.
because there were just still orcs there.
Yep. And
So
they just grew up.
There's a hilarious image, a 4chan image of like a guardsman planet, and it has like 945 quintillion guardsmen on it. And the joke is that the planet is just made of guardsmen, and they're constantly marching in a circle around the sun. And the best part is that it's right on the planet's description. It says orc presence low. There are still some orcs.
It could eventually be high if you just leave it. I mean,
Yeah, it's just like there are more guardsmen than there have ever been people that have existed on Earth, and there are still a few orcs.
Orcs, yeah.
Fire.
Besides that, orcs never stop growing.
Makes sense.
Which is why often when we talk about culture, they respect the biggest orc because it's kind of like a seniority.
Oh, because they're like the oldest orc because they've been around long enough to get that big.
And they fight a lot, which makes them really big, buff, and strong.
Oh, fair, yeah.
Big orc boys. But then I want to talk about squigs real quick because squigs are the greatest.
I'm excited for the squigs. They wear black and white checkerboard paint. The horses Legion the Luna Wolves at the time beat them so bad their colors were burned into their genetic code. Oh, interesting.
So squigs, Shy, I know to our viewers that are listening.
There's an orc that goes back in time to kill his past self so he can have one more of his favorite gun because he doesn't know how time paradox is a thing. That's insane.
You can't see this, but a squig, I want to try to post a picture of a squig real quick. But for those of you who can't see it, a squig is like an orange ball with 2 feet and like a little like lizard tail, kind of like a little lizard, but with a gigantic fucking spiked mouth.
Oh, that's a squig.
They do look very funny.
They got like those bunch of eyes. They got a big ass mouth. It looks like Kirby, but like a lizard version of Kirby with a giant spiked mouth and feet and like a little tail.
Angry
that
Kirby.
Looks like a satanic version of Kirby. In all fairness, like
yes,
if you ran into a demonic Kirby in hell that has been corrupted and driven insane. Definitely squig.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And the greatest part about squigs is that squigs are completely malleable and they do anything and everything. So a squig, a squig is about the size of a house cat or like medium-sized dog. However, squigs can increase and decrease in size depending on what it is. I literally have this in my notes. Food, bombs, whatever the fuck.
Oh.
Okay, here we go. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
We have attack squigs, bag squigs, bile squigs, bitey squigs, bomb squigs, boom squigs, bowel torrent squigs, burna squigs, buzzer squigs, buzzing squigs, chewing squigs, colossal squig, eating squig, garg squig, face eater squig, flesh heater squig, gas squig, gob squig, hair squig, hairy squig, herd squig, horn squig, juicy squig, mimic, oily squig, orcosaurus, paint squig, parasite hunting squig,
oh my god,
screech squig, spiky squig, splodin squig, squidgian, like squidgy, whatever.
Okay.
Squig hawk, squig hound, squig pipe used as a musical squig, squig shark, squig gith, stick squig, swab squig, syringe squig, vaccine squig, vampire squig, and weird squig.
Oh my god.
Squigs are cattle for food. Squigs are meant to be eaten. There is a thing in the game called a bomb squig where you attach a fuckload of bombs to it and it runs at its enemy going Ree! And it just fucking explodes.
Oh my god.
You've got targeting squig, which is just a squig with a fucking laser eye like shoved into its eyeball. Like a little lens just shoved into its eye, and it's used to give the orcs like better ballistic skill.
Holy.
You've got
crazy.
squig pipes are basically squigs that have been turned into fucking bagpipes, and they're used for like play. You've got attack squigs, which are like attack dogs.
Oh my
and
god!
Run up and they start biting people. They got bitey squigs.
They just run up and bite people.
It is they are fired
incredible.
out of cannons. They are used as food. They are used as messengers. They're like burna squigs. A burna squig can burst into flames after being thrown. Bowel torrent squigs.
Oh my god.
This name speaks for itself. These squigs are known to be amongst the most revolting and panic-producing organisms in the galaxy.
Oh no.
Bowel torrent squigs.
Yeah, as you were talking about him, I was like, if he doesn't go over it, I would be remiss if I did not ask what a bowel torrent squig did.
Let's not forget about the face eater squig.
Yeah, face eaters.
The face eater squig is a tooth variant of the squig, used both as a weapon and in the infamous orc face eating contests. These squigs have vicious mass of sharp teeth and claws, and in their active state, they appear to just be a gnashing mouth with little else.
Oh my lord.
If the orc and the
squigs are
squig,
ridiculous.
the orc and the squig both open their mouth and bite in a parody of a kiss. If the orc eats the squig, he wins. If he keels over backwards, he loses, and usually the squig eats him. Face eater squigs.
That's incredible, actually. Yeah, I've heard.
Squig is
Chat
literally
told me
just
about the
there
hair
for this
squigs,
fucking
yeah.
face eating contest.
The face eater squig.
Wow.
Like, you'd think that would be a great thing to use in a battle. Like, oh yeah, we've got this squig that will eat enemy faces. Like, no, that's we're using that on ourselves. That's for us.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
for happy time. That's for relaxation period.
That's for fun.
Squig face eating contest.
One of my favorite squigs is literally, there's actually a weapon, or no, it's a unit called the squig buggy, where they throw bomb squigs from the buggy as they like drift around the battlefield and they just explode. That's actually a real model you can get. It's great. Well, I don't think it's actually great right now, but it's really fun.
That sounds like
Wow.
it would be the literal funniest.
Also, hi,
model
Liliana.
ever.
I mean, they're pretty good. They're not quite as good as the Shock Jump Dragsta or the Boom Daka Snaz Wagon, but we'll talk about those maybe later.
Gesundheit.
Yeah, it just sounds like we're making up words, which I know, like, technically we are just making up words, but, like, so many things were just rattled off. You back off a baseball team, like cheerleaders. Fun flock for games. Let's sit out a small cup of gum for children to come up and get a piece. After the second time of girls being up gum, they're like, damn, you try to rizz them up. Oh. Oh, poor Liliana. 8 out of 10 of those things you'll never need to know, so it's probably fine. Oh, for sure. I'm picking up on it. I'm picking up on what they're putting down, for sure.
So, moving on from the physiology of orcs, let's talk about a little bit about the orcs' culture. Mm-hmm. So there's actually a great quote from the orcs about their
Made up
culture.
orcs still canon, for sure.
Oh, there it is. It's an Eldar philosopher. It says, quote, "The orcs are the pinnacle of creation. For them, the great struggle is won. They have evolved a society which knows no stress or angst. Who are we to judge them? We Eldari who have failed, or the humans on the road to ruin in their turn? And why? Because we sought answers to questions that an orc wouldn't even bother to ask. We see a culture that is strong and despise it as crude." Orc culture, orcs don't get depressed. They don't get like,
we gotta study that,
or at least not often. They don't care
Sign
about where they came from or,
Let me be an orc.
them. They don't
I'm
have
ready.
philosophy or the idea of their purpose. It's might makes right. You go out, you always listen to the biggest orc. Listen.
Oh my god, wait. Orcs, might makes right. They don't get depressed. They just wanna be big and strong. Dude, orcs are gym bros. They don't have philosophy. Orcs are just gym bros. They're the gym bros of 40K. That's incredible, actually.
This is the big orc. Big orc, he knows what's up. You listen to that big orc. You fight. So long as you got some crumping, which is what they call like beating on people. They call it, like, to get crumped. So long as you got some crumping,
I love crumping.
You know, you live a warlike life. You're constantly fighting, and you got something to kill, and you got some ways to have a good time that way. Orc is happy. They think that they are the greatest race ever. Like, they legitimately believe that they are like the best. They're like, we orc, we best race. Every other race dumb, stupid. They're never depressed.
I love them for it.
Their currency is teeth.
That's right. Their currency is orc teeth. So
The
they just
teeth.
pop
I think
each
it's
other in
just
the
teeth
mouth.
in general.
I was under the understanding it had to be orc teeth. It's just teeth,
I mean,
period.
I mean, Shai, I don't know if you can correct me on this one. I thought it was just teeth in general. So they kill a bunch of humies, they can get a bunch of teeth.
YouTube
makes
and
sense,
Twitch
actually.
said
Maybe
football
they use
hooligan.
human teeth as like cents instead of like dollars.
Orc
Oh my
teeth
god.
is like $100 bill.
Okay. She says it's primarily orc teeth. All right, so orc
Okay,
teeth it is.
okay.
She said teeth, by
Orc
the way.
teeth.
Oh yeah. Well, sorry, because they say teeth.
Yeah,
They got the weird orc.
talk like this.
Oh my
no,
god.
I can't do a Cockney orc accent, and I don't want to try.
At some point this episode, you have to. It's an orc episode.
I
have to.
refuse. I'm the one doing the teaching here. I
Oh,
don't
right.
have to
Okay,
force
I'm the comic
myself.
relief. That's fair. Okay.
The teeth.
But they're just never-ending fighting and violence. Always listen to the biggest orc. Always warlike at all times. They don't think too hard. They breed in insane numbers. Obviously, they don't fuck because they're fungus. But
yeah,
you know, the way it works is the biggest orc pushes around the smaller orcs, which in turn push around the Gretchen. At the same time. So a big orc will start bonking on the other orcs, who will in turn bonk on the Gretchen because they can. And the Gretchen are constantly bullied. In fact, this hilariousness where, like, I think it's the Killacan. The Killacan is an orc vehicle armed by Gretchen. And often once the Gretchen is promoted to being a Killacan pilot, they'll go and find the Gretchen that bullied him the most and immediately step on him and kill him.
Oh my god.
Makes sense. I mean, if you're bigger and you've got the means to, that seems to be the orc thing to do. Wow, Killacans are crazy. Should I just post a picture of them? Wow, those are
like big old rust buckets with saws and missile launchers and spikes everywhere. They're great.
That is a killer can. Yep.
Yeah.
That's the joke.
That's the joke. I know. It's just registering with me.
Wow.
Now we do gotta talk about the orc religion real quickly. I want to talk about them real quick.
Oh, they have religion?
The orcs believe in two gods, Gork and Mork.
Oh, that's right. You guys said that.
Have you actually never heard of Gork and Mork yet?
Gork and Mork?
As soon as you said it, all I could think of was like Mork and Mindy.
Not quite that. Not quite like that. Not quite. Not Gork and Mork. Gork and Mork are...
Gork and Mork.
Okay.
Just some regular pals.
So the orcs have two gods. Right, Gork and Mork.
Gork and Mork.
Now, Gork is brutal but cunning. Now Mork is cunning but brutal. I'm speaking verbatim here. So they believe that Gork and Mork are the most powerful orcs in existence, and they're constantly fighting each other. They are constantly beating on each other all the time because they say Gork is, he's brutal and cunning. He'll just smack an adversary in the head really hard with a big old club, quote unquote, the size of a comet. But Mork, he's cunning but brutal. He's sneaky. He'll wait till the foe turns around and then he'll clobber him. It's Gork and Mork, and they're constantly fighting each other. And the orcs, and I do believe that these gods actually do exist. I don't know if it's
Gork
just
and Mork actually exist. This isn't like
I'm not sure. I think they do. I think they're in the warp.
That's
in
incredible.
Their own realm, unlike the realm of chaos, and they're Gork and they're Mork, and they're constantly fighting against demons because the demons are being annoying, and they gotta crump them because of Gork because they're Gork and Mork.
Oh my god.
I think that they truly are actual gods. I don't.
And they're just hanging out in the warp, just beating up demons because we're orcs, we're Gork, we're Mork.
Cunningly brutal. And brutally
I think,
cunning.
Yeah, Gork and Mork exist, and they're there, and like Zinch and shit are probably just chilling there, and then Gork runs up and like bonks him in the head, and then he like probably leaves. I don't know. I don't fucking know what happens.
I mean, that seems like the most apropos gods that the orcs could have.
I agree with
Gork
that.
and Mork.
I agree with
Allegedly, the Emperor himself fought Gork and Mork in the warp at some point.
Allegedly.
I would love to see that. Serious Ems, he's very serious, very stoic, and then fucking Gork and Mork just bonk him on the head.
Oh my god.
Go to horny jail, Emperor. You had 20 sons. Bonk.
Yeah. Like, in my head, I just imagine, those carnival games where the mole's head pops up and bonk? I'm just imagining the Emperor's head popping up and Gork and Mork just have, like, the big mallet and pop.
And a lot of orcs like the Emperor, though.
Corn was once beaten to a pulp by the two. Wait, like, actually? But if true, incredible. Orcs have created the perfect currency. You can get more. They decay. No inflation, deflation. Kind of makes sense. They exist because the orcs believe they do. Story of the orcs that fought their way into the Eye of Terror for fun and beat the shit out of demons until Korn gave them a planet.
They think he's the biggest and the strongest of all the humies.
So they like him.
So
that makes sense.
I mean, no respect, but they appreciate him. There's actually an ongoing
that makes
theory
sense.
that
That makes sense.
the Emperor is only still alive right now because the orcs believe him to be. And he would have died on the Golden Throne a while ago if the orcs didn't believe that he was alive. It's more of a joke. It's probably not actually true, but it's a good joke. I like it.
I like that joke.
mean,
I like that
enough
theory
orcs
though.
Believe,
that's where the theory comes
right?
from. Yeah,
if
enough orcs.
every single orc believes it.
So great time to get into that. So the orcs all consistent of the old ones, you know, by the brain boys. They all have a little bit of psychic power, and because of that, on its own, each individual orc, nothing really happens. But when the orcs get together and they all believe in something, they tend to have pretty ridiculous results. That's why the power of imagination, because they're not smart enough to actually use this power for anything. But because they're dumb enough to believe it, it always works. The irony is that the orcs would be significantly less powerful if they were smarter.
Okay.
That makes a crazy amount of sense. Yeah, I guess would.
I know, it's so fucking weird.
That's like the weirdest way.
It's kind of incredible.
It's kind of blowing my mind a little bit, but yeah, I get
Colored
it.
rainbow orc.
Because
Why?
the idea is like they will take a bunch of sheet metal and a muffler and they'll pour gas randomly on the vehicle, and then the fucking vehicle starts driving.
Oh.
And it works. And then like there's funny stories where like the orcs will be driving a vehicle and then it'll run out of gas. And then one orc will be like, "Did you fill it up with gas?" And the other orc will be like, "Of course I filled it up with gas." And then the vehicle will start working again because the big orc said he filled it up.
Is incredible.
So everyone believes, it's got gas, of course, and it just.
Yeah, pretty much. Like they believe that red is the fastest color, so they'll paint their shit red, and they will go quicker. They will go really fast, in fact.
I know that the stealth guys are purple because have you ever seen a purple orc?
Oh shit!
Purple
Actually.
is the sneakiest color.
Oh.
I think
that's
yellow
why.
is the luckiest. Yeah, black is tough. Black color is tough. I didn't say gold is the best color because gold.
Sure.
I think yellow explodes harder. It's everything is just I think green is the best color. I think green is the best color, and then like gold is like the highest like wealth color or something. Yeah, blue is lucky, yellow is wealthy.
Okay.
Everything has its own deal with the orcs.
They
But
paint themselves purple and turn invisible.
I want to tell
Incredible.
you two great stories about orcs real quick here. I think these are both fictional, but I mean, so is 40K, so who cares?
Yeah.
So, a bunch of Imperial guardsmen, right? They're defending a spot, and the orcs just keep on coming. They just keep on coming. They don't stop. And eventually the guardsmen run out of ammunition with their las guns. And then the company commander has an idea. He points his las gun at an enemy, and he goes, bang! And then an orc falls over dead, and then the guardsmen look at him and they're like, and then all the orcs just start falling over them.
Oh my god!
Because they believe they've still got ammo, I assume.
until a group of 6 orcs run over the hill, and they just won't fall over from all the banging, and then they hear chanting in the distance, and then as they get closer, they hear, "I'm a tank, I'm 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 a tank."
No fucking way.
Is this actually
bullshit,
true?
I love the story.
Oh,
It's
okay.
a great story.
No,
That would
has
be
to
incredible.
real 'cause it's fucking great. It's just like stupid, countered by more stupid, countered by like ultra stupid.
There's one more.
I love that.
So the orcs, there's a group of orcs called the Free Buddhas, and the Free Buddhas are they're pirate orcs. They're pirate orcs. They all have pirate hats and peg legs.
It's an old joke.
They roll
I
around
wish
in
it was real.
starships.
It's
They're
so funny.
They're awesome.
Why are they called the free Buddhas?
Oh, well, because like freebooter or like free. So you know they're pirates. So they're free Buddhas.
Hi, Yuzu.
I was like, do they believe in like Buddha? It's just like
No, not Buddha. Fucking like free Buddha. Oh my god.
I don't. Nate, it's the orcs. It makes no sense. It's great. Continue.
They're
Oh my
Yerg
God.
orcs. They talk in like a pirate accent. All
right.
But they were
no.
all the orcs were there, and they were fixing a ship. The ship had a whole bunch of hull breaches, and so they were fixing up the ship and fixing all their holes. And then another orc ship goes next to them and decides to help them out with their stuff. So the orcs jump from their ship to the other side, and the orcs that jump over there have a bunch of helmets and spacesuits on, you know. And then they're looking at the orcs repairing the ship, and the orcs don't have spacesuits on. And they're like, "Oi, lads, why the fuck don't you have like spacesuits on? Don't you know you can't survive in space?" And then all the orcs that were working on it immediately died.
Oh my god.
A testament to the orcs' stupidity and their power.
Yep,
All the orcs that were in the vacuum of space immediately decompressed and died.
That's incredible. You guys were just saying that.
I said that freebooter is literally just a word that refers to pirate.
Say freebooters.
I didn't know that. I heard you say freebooter, and I was like, wait, huh? How does Buddha get into 40K?
Much of the color thing is shakily canon. The meme has spread so widely. Okay. There's a 3D print of 6 orcs that came together to make a tank. That's incredible. You usually need something enshrined in the collective orc unconscious for it to be true. You should believe the universe has at least one edge case. Yeah. I could believe it.
God damn. You know we can't have Buddha, because it's not the emperor.
That's true. On the topic of crazy imagination stuff backfiring on them, the story people kept telling me, I forget which commissar it is, but like the orcs believe
Commissar
Yarrick.
Yarrick.
Yes, Commissar Yarrick. Every time I hear his name, I remember it. I can never remember it on my own. And they like believe that he's like immortal, unkillable, strong as shit. And so he is, and they can never beat him, even if they do have him outnumbered, because they just believe that he's fucking amazing and immortal.
The Commissar Yarrick is like the main guy. When we talk about Imperial Guard, we'll talk about Commissar Yarrick. He's a fucking badass. He was given the opportunity to retire in the Guard, which is like unheard of. They gave him like a world and everything, and he was like, nah, dog.
Wow.
Because there's this orc character called Gazkul, which...
Oh, yeah.
So
got a giant model.
Yeah, Gazkul
this
model
guy.
is great, but his full name is Gazkul Mog Urok Thraka. And he's the biggest.
Oh, the Yarrick thing is true.
He's the big orc. He's the huge warlord, and he's considered the prophet of Gork and Mork. Normally, the orcs follow Gork or Mork, but he's the prophet of Gork and Mork.
Oh, okay.
He's like head honcho. He's guy.
Big boy orc. He's big orc. And he even has his quote, "I'm warlord Gazkul Mok Urok Thraka, and I speak with the word of the gods. I'm the prophet of the Wa, and whole worlds burn in my boot prints."
Oh my god.
He is huge. And I could have a whole episode on Gaz because he has done insane shit. Like Gaz has led so many an orc Wa. So Wa is something that they yell, of course, right? Of course. But an orc Wa is basically just a gigantic apocalyptic war fighting of orcs. So basically, maybe one orc has like a vision that Gork or Mork tells them something, and then that orc gets all excited for a murder, and then all the orcs around him get all excited for a murder, and then more orcs like, oh my god, is it Wa time? Is it Wa? They all start going crazy. They start building giant fucking mechs and like vehicles and things called like Gorkanauts and Morkanauts, which are these gigantic like 7-story tall fucking walkers, like Stompas and Burna bombers and Daka jets and Boom Daka snaz wagons, etc. Wow. And they all the orcs basically just for no reason but to want to, they mobilize, and they then lead like a gigantic crusade of death through like multiple star systems.
Wow.
An orc Wa might be one of the most devastating things in 40K. It's just a torrent of fucking orcs. It is a flood of orcs. There's a great guardsman quote where he's like, I fired every shot of my las gun. I fired my heavy bolter until the barrel melted. We ran out of all of our like machine gun ammo an hour in, and all of our mortar ammo 2 hours after that. And the orcs did not stop coming, and they were laughing the whole way.
Jesus.
Like, it's interesting because we talk about the Guard, right? And how it's just like a never-ending influx of just guardsmen being thrown at the problem. It's funny because a lot of people assume that the guards just have a simple idea of like throw bodies at them. But guardsmen are like company commanders and generals in the guard are sometimes more strategically intelligent than the things you'd find in the Marines, the Space Marines, because often when you fight like Tyranids and Orks, the fucking 40 million guardsmen are outnumbered like 10 to 1.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like there are so many Orks.
Wait, but I don't understand. Like, so, you know, Big E and the Imperium have like a goal, right? To fight for humanity. And then there's like the Chaos Gods and the other Primarchs that like got converted or whatever. All fighting for whatever. What are the Orks about? What are the Orks here for? Are they just here to have a good time? Like, do they fight for one side over another, or do they just fight in general? Like, no one's telling me why they're doing anything. Is it just because they fight to fight? They just want to fight. They don't give a shit who they're fighting. They're just here to ball and have a good time. Okay, you know, fair enough. They fight everyone and everything. They fight because it's fun. They love a good fight. And their genetics require. Okay, you know, fair enough. I just wanted to make sure. Oh, yeah, someone told us about the head cutoff thing. Or maybe it was Bricky earlier, but they picked the hardest enemy, so the fights are better. The Imperium captured an orc and wanted to know. Oh my god, Yuki, you can't be up here, my guy. Mwah. They built a shooting room, and when they brought the orc, it did not choose guns. Chose the 2x4 plank and just yelled "Daka" before removing him. There was unexplained bullet holes all over the room.
Jeez. So, like, it just gets to a point where they just reach a fever pitch, and they're just like, we need to kill. And they just go on, like, this pilgrimage of death throughout star systems just because, fuck it, we need to kill.
Pretty much, it's to cause as much destruction as possible.
They'll die without fighting.
And what's worse is that because it becomes that insanely powerful, it surges their, like, power of imagination because there are so many more orcs.
Oh, like, that's true. Like, if they get all of them going after one cause and they're all ooh. Oh, yeah, that does sound awful to fight.
If the orcs stopped killing each other, if the orcs stopped, like, and they all united under one banner, the orcs would take over the galaxy.
Wow.
Like, there is no, they would destroy the humans in their entirety. They would destroy all the Tyranids, even. The Eldar, the Krons. If the only thing stopping the orcs from actually destroying the entire galaxy is the fact that they're idiots.
But the fact that they're idiots also gives them power.
Toning down their power through balancing or anything like that, they're toned down because they're just dumb.
Yeah.
Their balance checks are, yeah, these guys are fucking stupid.
Exactly. And it's perfect. It's all that's needed.
Well, there you go. That's kind of crazy, though, that if they just never started, like, infighting and they were just united, just game over. It's an orc universe, and we're just living in it.
Pretty much. The orc Wa is basically akin to the apocalypse. Like, there is a point where you would look down from an airplane or something in the guard, and you would look at the orcs, and it would just look like a sea of green ants that just does not end. It will never end.
Oh my god!
They just keep on coming.
So how does one stop this? Because it sounds like if you're in the way of a Wa, you're dead. You have no chance. There's no escaping that. Too many numbers.
That's what I'm hearing.
Too many orcs. Too much imagination.
Yeah.
Like, do they just get tired and they're just like, yeah, we've satiated our bloodlust. Let's go home. Like, how does one stop a Wa?
Often they kill each other. Once they've ran out of worlds, or they becomes kind of a problem. I mean, you
Okay.
know, a WoW can only last for so long. After enough time, after the WoW has taken place for quite a while, they will, you can only be under one banner for so long before they start trying to get each other.
Okay.
But I mean, Exterminatus really is the only good way. If I'm being honest.
So I'm assuming the base of that word is exterminate, but like how? Like what?
Did
what's
they
an
blow the fucking
exterminatus?
planet up?
Oh,
Yeah.
you just sacrifice whole planets that they're on and just blow it up with like a virus bomb or just destroy the planet?
Yeah, like
Damn.
there's a quote from an Inquisitor.
That's
and he's
crazy,
like,
actually.
He's like, I toiled with the greenskins once, and that was my greatest failure. From now, I just do Exterminatus on the planet they're taking over because there's no fucking way I can get rid of them.
Wow.
Often, like, I mean, if you were to invade an orc planet, not only do you have to deal with the fact that the entire planet is covered in orcs, but then even if you kill all of them, now that's covered in spores, and they're gonna build more orcs, and more orcs are gonna spawn, and so at that point they're just like, fucking virus bomb the shit, just nuke it.
Wow.
Fuck if I
Destroy the
care.
fucking thing.
Huh.
Who cares? Get rid of it.
It's too strong.
Yeah,
there's
well, this
actually
kinda
a hilarious
crazy,
thing.
low-key.
In the Tyranids, there's a thing called a gene stealer, and it basically like can take over your genetic material to make it so that you they infiltrate like human cities and then eventually like turn the entire populace into worshipping Tyranids and shit. They're pretty cool.
Okay.
But they can actually infect orcs too.
Oh.
The problem is that the gene stealer called orcs are normally way too calm compared to all the other orcs, and they get their ass killed because the orcs are like, that's not right, that's not very orc, and they'll
Oh
kill
my
them
god.
because they're too calm.
That's
They're
funny.
too calm, so they get killed because they're not orc. That's great.
They're not orc enough. Shy makes a good point too. Often Exterminatus, a planet, isn't always the best option because orcs live on death worlds often. Like they might just live.
Oh god, so like even a virus bomb or like just nuking the planet might not work. Like, do you have to literally just destroy the fucking planet?
You might need to like core crack it. You might need to like blow it up into chunks.
That's insane.
Yeah, like, and then that's not always an option.
Huh? Jesus
They're that
You have
resilient.
Canadian orcs? That's cute.
They are.
So
It's
if
ridiculous.
the WoW were a little smarter and they just, or if the Orc were a little smarter and they just kept on wawing and they could just keep on like keeping under one banner, everybody's fucked. There's just no way to combat.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing.
Pretty much. Like,
Wow.
pretty much. They are kept in line entirely by their idiocy.
I knew they were a problem, and I knew that like the imagination thing and stuff was like a big deal, but damn, I did not realize they were that insane.
Yeah, they are.
He leads a
really,
gigantic claws, Gazgul. But
really
you guys said
nutty.
Gazgul died, right?
There's a Tuska demon killer.
Okay.
Um,
I'm assuming this is someone that killed a Tusk demon.
they are. Well, I believe his name was Tuska. He called himself the Demon Killer.
I
because
love their like rap names.
he currently he's the leader of an orc
Very
law
badass.
that is currently in Khorne's realm of chaos in the warp.
Oh.
No, he didn't. I mean,
And he is in a
mistaking what you guys are
never-ending
saying.
battle.
Gauze is alive. Okay.
They are battling eternally in the warp for fun and for sport against demons because Khorne finds it funny, and Tuska and the group like enjoy it. So he literally has a 24/7 gladiatorial arena for eternity in Khorne's domain in the warp because it's fun.
And because Khorne thinks it's funny, it's just
Yep.
like, yeah, sure, go ahead. Jeez.
The
Wow.
It's really our comic. It's strange because like they're comic relief, but it's like at the same time they're kind of no joke if you're fighting them. Like the
No,
comic
they're
relief
horrifying.
only goes so far until it's like, oh yeah, by the way, there's a flood of them and you're fucked.
Underestimating the greenskins is a fast trip to the grave.
Yeah.
Actually, it's funny that you mentioned earlier.
Have they killed any Primarchs?
There's actually something that Gaskell said where he's like, "Humies are all weak scum that deserve to get stomped, except for One-Eye Yarrick. He knows how to fight." Yarrick is like, Yarrick fucking like his arm is gone. He replaced it with an orc claw.
Oh, that's right. That's who Yarrick is.
I think he can only use it because orcs believe he can. But they thought
so
that
funny.
Yarrick had a laser eyeball. They thought he had one, so he decided to give himself a laser eyeball. So he put an eye laser. So he's like in game, he can zap you with his eye. It's great. Commissar Yarrick is such a Chad. He's very much respected. They have like a rivalry, him and Gaskell.
He actually has an eye laser, huh?
Yeah, he has like the scouring eye is Necron's. It's like the Bale eye or something.
God.
It's great. It's the best.
Oh, so his arm isn't like an actual like green orc arm. It's like one of their robot arms?
Yeah, the orcs have like things called power claws, which they are like really useful.
Okay, so he's got a power claw arm. Oh, I was just imagining like
That's
a dude
truly
that had, like a literal
incredible,
orc arm,
though.
like green and clawed and like just muscular as fuck.
No, though I don't think the power claw actually even works at a fundamental level. I think it only works because the orcs think it works.
Believe it does.
Because it's so funny.
It reminds me of that
like,
girl
often
from
like Mechanicus guys, right? They'll finish off an orc invasion and they'll pick up an orc gun and it'll just fall apart into pieces. Or like a vehicle will just
Arcane.
like there's like no steering wheel or gas pedals. It just doesn't work.
What's her name? Savita? Reminds me of Savita.
Work.
Yep.
And nothing works. And they see the Mechanicus believe that the orcs have their own variant, or they believe that the Omnissiah and the machine spirit is like in the orc weapons.
Wow.
So it allows them to function, but only in orc hands. It has like a twisted, demented machine spirit, which is why it only works for them.
Yeah, I mean, orc tech isn't really. Well, I guess I was gonna say orc tech can't fall into the wrong hands unless you're Yarrick.
Yeah, well, Yarrick's a Chad. That's why.
He's
so funny.
Chad. Is that gonna be the artwork request for this episode? That the obligatory like some sort of Chad Yarrick?
No, we gotta double it up though. It's like we gotta do like the Chad Yarrick and the Chad Gaskell.
True.
Because I don't think either of them are bad to be virgins. They're just both Chad. It's like they have an artwork piece where it's the Chad Mork and the Chad Gork.
Orcs killed
Brutally
Vulcan.
cunning, cunningly brutal. We'll crump ya, we'll stomp ya. It's great.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about a couple of the units that orcs have because some of them are hilarious. I want to talk about the shock jump dragsta.
All right.
Oh yeah, we heard about this car.
Dragsta are they are it's like a speeder, like a drag racer, right?
Yeah.
But they often will teleport themselves like into the warp and de-teleport themselves back out randomly in different areas.
Ooh.
And so they can just like bypass objects by constantly like zapping themselves in, zapping themselves out.
Oh my god.
In the game, they can actually like teleport around the battlefield, which is pretty
That's
awesome.
cool.
That is pretty dope. Yeah.
But one of my favorite things is the shock attack gun. And the shock attack gun is a gigantic like rolling electric weapon.
That's
and
crazy. It's huge.
It has a damage of D6, which is really high, and an armor penetration of -5, which is really high. But its strength is 2d6. And the reason for this is because in the model, which Shai has posted, but for those of you who can't see, in the model, it sucks up a Gretchen or a Snotling directly into a tube.
Oh my god.
And then what it does is it uses the weapon's ability to then teleport said Gretchen like at the enemy. The reason it rolls for strength is because often if you have a high enough strength, it will teleport the unit inside the enemy's body.
I've heard about this one.
So if you roll like 2 6s or something with it, then you have teleported the Gretchen like into the heart of a space marine.
Oh.
Or like directly into the gears of a tank, and it just
Holy
everything
shit.
gets like doesn't work anymore because there's a fucking dude in it.
Oh my god.
Or sometimes you roll 2-1, so your strength is 2, and that's what happens when you teleport the Gretchen right outside of the radius, and it just like splats on their armor. And
Oh
like
my god.
Like a red mist.
Jesus.
Storm Boys. Storm Boys are orcs that have shoved a giant rocket on their back.
Okay.
And they are extremely like anarchistic, and they constantly like go around and they fly in with their huge like rockets. There's even a they try to like hit people with their weapons at the speed of like a ballistic missile. And
Oh my god.
You'll realize that it's not a missile coming your way. It's an orc with a big club, and he's just screaming
Holy
on the way down.
shit. That's so funny.
That is fucking hilarious.
Often there's a rule that allows them to like double their movement in game, but then you have to roll a dice for every Storm Boy, and for every one, their rocket just fails and they explode and die.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's one of my favorite things, right? There's the Pain Boy, the doctor, and you can heal orcs, but if you roll a 1, you accidentally like shank the orc and you kill him.
Oh my god.
It
This
sounds
is
like
so funny.
it is quite the double-edged sword to play
Yeah.
as orcs, because on the one side, if you roll really good, you're gonna fuck some cats up. But if you do not have the heart of the dice on your side, you're gonna fuck yourself up and just blow up in the air.
Oh,
Your
that's
doctor's
so
gonna
funny.
shank you and kill you, and it sounds
I
like
imagine
quite
orcs
the-
are very
quite the,
wacky
coin
on the
flip when you're
tabletop.
playing
I mean,
orcs.
it definitely can be in
Like in
terms
a
of like
fun
shooting
way.
and stuff. They do have some pretty good stuff. Like they got something called the Burnabama, and the Burnabama is like the bane of my existence in terms of like the in game. Basically, it's a giant. It's a flamer vehicle, but the Burnabama has a special stratagem, which is like an ability you can use in game called Flying Ed Butt. And what you do is you
the
fly
Flying
the
Ed
model
Butt.
over an area, and then you immediately explode it. In the concept that the orc decided to attempt to headbutt the enemy by kamikazing their plane.
Incredible.
And
Incredible.
it does like a shitload of damage. It's actually really fucking powerful. But the flying Ed Butt is it's a really good ability, and it hurts real bad. in game.
headbutt. Like
Ba-
that?
yeah, probably. Well, I mean, maybe they probably don't have the
Incredible.
time to say it.
Yeah, that's hysterical that they're just like, yeah, I'm gonna headbutt that enemy with my plane.
With my face.
With my
plane's
fucking plane.
face.
I'm just gonna headbutt
Like,
them.
didn't work out too well. I bet you there are orcs that have survived a flying headbutt.
There probably have been. They've probably been like ejected from the sea and then like ran over and smacked like a human.
Yeah.
The,
That's a double death. You hit him with the flying headbutt, and then he flies out and he just rolls over a shitload of humans. And
Oh, Shai tells me that if they survive, that they build cars out of their planes.
no,
I think I know that.
way.
I think I know
Oh.
that. It's called the mega the something scrap jet.
Oh,
The mega something scrap jet.
you
or
guys
something of
mentioned that
nature. I think I know that
earlier.
thing.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
scrap jet
yeah.
is nuts.
So it's a mini. So can you do that in game? Can you do the flying headbutt and actually like?
No.
Okay.
It blows up your thing, which is too bad.
Okay.
But that'd be a little bit nuts.
That
but
would be
like
so crazy.
the orcs
Explosive
in
rockets
game,
on
like they have the
sticks?
rule, daka daka daka, which is just every time you roll to shoot, every time you roll a 6, you therefore just get to shoot again. And that works with everything, including pistols to rocket launchers. So, you might
Oh
have
my god.
3 rocket shots, and then you'll end up with like 5 if you just roll really well. In fact, I didn't even mention DACA at all in this episode. Holy shit.
That's
I can't believe I
true.
forgot about that. Yeah, or DACA is, they say DACA because DACA is the sound of a gun firing. So they're constantly like, "Daka, daka, daka." They keep on they keep on yelling DACA, DACA, DACA because they love DACA. You always have to have more DACA.
More daka.
They're always like they love DACA, and if you ever say like, "Do we have enough DACA?" Like, how fucking dare you, grunt? Get back in line. There's always more DACA.
People
always need
kill
more
it for
DACA.
less.
They don't even aim well. They're terrible at shooting, but they just have such a good time that they're just running around yelling "Daka daka daka."
Yeah, I think I'd be too unlucky to play Orks.
Orks is that the Warhammer 40k universe is the perfect universe for them to live in. It's all suffering, it's all fighting, it's all strife. It's like Orc paradise in this universe.
Pretty much. They love it. Orcs are the happiest.
Makes sense.
A lot of people ask, like, what's the least evil faction in Warhammer? A lot of people would say Orcs. I'm torn because Orcs are actually quite savage. Because they have dulled pain receptors, they actually therefore find it really interesting when other species are in pain.
Oh,
so they'll often like break the legs of people or Eldar and like sling their intestines around and shit for fun.
Oh God.
So they're actually quite horribly savage to other people.
Yeah.
But they don't see it as like evil. They're never like they're never like malicious.
Yeah.
They do it because they're savage and they think it's fun. They have a good time. You know, I guess the only other option is like Tyranids because they're just bug, but I don't know.
Yeah, they're just bugs infesting. At least Orcs are, at least they're having a good time. They're smiling and happy. I mean, who else can you say that for in the 40k universe?
And they got bomb squigs.
True.
Yes, they have bomb squigs and face eating competitions, and what a merry time to be an orc.
I want to make a Makari model, which is like a little Gretchen that follows around Gaskell with like a banner. And I want to take that model and instead turn it into an orc with a bagpipe squig. And he just plays like he's like a Scottish fucking kilt, and he just runs around playing the bagpipes next to Gaz.
I like it.
Oh yeah, I didn't talk about that. So do you know? I'm not sure how well you know about the rules, but like, do you know what an invul save is?
I'm assuming it's a roll of the dice that saves you from damage and makes you invulnerable.
Okay, so you got like armor saves, which are like armor, and the invul saves are normally things like force fields and shit, right? Things like what Doge Van Dyer had. Normally they're not as good. It's like, okay, if I get hit by like a really powerful weapon, instead of having no save because of my armor, I have like a little bit of a save.
Okay.
The game had like 6-up invuls, like on a roll of 6 or higher is kind of common. 5-up, give or take. 4-up is pretty uncommon. If you have a 4-up invul save, you're pretty tanky. 3-ups used to be a little bit more common. Now they're almost not even existing right now because they're just so fucking strong. 2-up invul saves are non-existent except for, I think, 2 circumstances. One of them is the Dark Eldar Archon, and the reason is because the first time you fail it, it's gone for the rest of the game. Oof. And the other one is Makari, the Gretchen flag bearer for Gaskell. He does almost no damage, and he is like a practically worthless model. No, that's not worthless, but he's very, very like mediocre. But he has a 2-up invul save from his special rule, Suspiciously Lucky. Makari is known to being the luckiest Gretchen of all time.
Wow.
He was once killed by being sat on, and then until he wasn't killed, and then he came back alive or something. He's just really lucky to the point where he might be one of the tankiest units in the entire game of 40k. This tiny Gretchen because he's just lucky.
So how did he?
I don't think I'm lucky enough to play Orcs.
He's just really lucky. I don't know. I don't fucking know, man. It's Orcs. Who cares?
I vaguely remember some sort of shitstorm on Twitter because like he got sat on and he got killed and they never explained why, and everybody was like, "Oh, that's bullshit. How dare you do that to like our favorite?" And then GW was like, "Oh, you liked him? I guess he's not dead. Here's a new mini of him."
Oh my god.
He looks cool too. He's got a cool little. He's just really lucky. I don't know. He's great. There's a lot of good orc characters. Like
I figured he'd be more blue if he was lucky.
Right?
No. If you're not green, you get bullied hard. Normally killed.
Oh, alrighty then.
You better not, if you are anything that isn't a green orc, you are got a target on your head.
Oh.
You will not last.
All right then.
There are so many great orc characters. Boss Snickrot leader of the Sneaky Gits, Boss Zagstruck, Captain Badruck. There's just so many. Obviously, you got big man Gazskull Thraka.
Right. Everyone's favorite, it seems.
I love
Gaz
the orc names
revives
so much.
Makari whenever he wants.
What are some other ones we got here, real quick? Megatrack Scrapjet, Custom Booster Blasters, Rucka Truck Squig Buggies, Scorchas, Blitz Obamas, Wazbomb Blaster Jet, Chinork Warcopter, Ludas, Killicans, Def Dreads, Bone Breakers, Squiggets, Mega Dread, Mecha Dread, Cannon Wagon, Death Roller, Battle Fortress, Kill Crusher. These are all units you can use in game.
Something about the
I
more
love
direct
all the
ones,
names.
like
I really
Cannon Wagon
do.
is just. I assume it's just a big cannon on a wagon. Just very direct, very to the point. We're dumb orcs. We don't care. Here's a big fucking cannon.
I'm actually kind of curious. The Cannon Wagon is equipped with a big shooter and a super cannon. Oh, it can be equipped with the 3 big shooters. Excellent.
So it's a cannon's wagon is what it is. It's multiple cannons on a wagon.
What's the one that you have, Shy? The Forge World one again? Was that the Grot Mega Tank?
Oh,
Mega Tank.
Yes, the Grot Mega Tank, where oh no, they got rid of that ability. Oh right, because they redid the Forge World Compendium. That's right. Okay, it's a lot less RNG now, which is too bad. Back in the day, this ability had this great thing where you would roll a dice, and it had a bunch of this looks a lot better than it used to be, but I think it has a little bit less of like the flair to it. Where all the grots inside of it, if you roll the dice on a 1, they would like have mutiny, and you couldn't shoot that turn because they would all be beating each other up. On a 6, they would shoot 2 well, and they get +1 to hit, but they could only fire at 1 target, which was fine. But they had like all these issues like that, where your movement characteristic was 2d6. Your weapons were like 2d6 dice. It's hilarious. Anyway, I'm getting off track. We could talk about orc shit for like a year. It's so much fun. We honestly
I have thoroughly enjoyed learning about the orcs today.
Good.
Me too. I agree with you, DK.
They're fucking weird, and I love it. I can see why Shy loves them so goddamn much.
Do you have any questions? Anything you'd like to ask before we finish this off?
Are you sure? Are you absolutely sure you can't give us your best orc impression?
I'm not gonna. Okay, there are a couple signs of that guy when you play Warhammer, and one of them is when you're on the other side of the table and he starts doing orc impressions. When that happens, I'm like,
oh my god,
I'm not interested in this.
Oh no.
Do that?
Okay, listen, I love Warhammer. We all do. Warhammer is absolutely the domain of nerds. We all know this.
But people are just having fun.
And you'll often get those people who will be on the other side of the table with the Cheeto hands and the what's grumping you gets and all this fucking bullshit, and they'll roll 3 6s and just pull their head back and yell "wah" at the top of their lungs.
They're just having fun.
And they're doing this in like a public area, and we get those people. Well, we should have an episode on that guy, Shy. We should have an episode entirely on that guy.
They're just having a good time.
That'd be a fantastic episode.
I mean, be respectful in public places, but like.
Oh my goodness!
You know.
I can tell my story of my stories. Oh my god!
You're that guy story.
Yeah. There's one more rule I want to talk about. Okay, there's a great rule called "the bosses watch him," where if an orc unit fails morale, instead of running, the boss just immediately kills 2 orcs and does damage to them, and then the morale is passed because the boss is watching. Don't run away.
Oh.
Oh god. Oh.
All right.
I like the orcs. The orcs are great.
They are the best.
I agree.
They're
pretty
the
good.
best, and we would not have it any other way.
Take us home, Ricky.
All right, I got you. So next episode is on the Lamenters. I got to do a lot of research for the Lamenters.
You guys brought those up
figure
today.
this one out.
You got to do it right, man. A lot of pressure. The people donated for this, man. They wanted this.
I mean, I pulled off Krieg decently well, I think. So I'm a little bit. I think I'm okay. I got it.
Yeah, I think you did real well with Krieg. I mean, I don't know Warhammer, but I learned a lot in the Krieg episode.
Krieg are fan favorites, so are Lamenters. We'll see. Besides that, thank you to all of our fantastic patrons over on patreon.com/ridiculous. You guys have been going insane. If you're curious, hey, what's the next goal? Well, our next goal is at a clean 2,000, and we'll start uploading to the YouTube channel various different kinds of game and model related content, perhaps like showing off our armies, and especially
and the Blood Angels.
hopefully
I want to learn about the Blood Angels.
The Warhammer Dark Tide.
They're sanguineous, right?
Because then we'll have probably some fantastic games of all of us together.
Sanguineous is the Blood Angels. I want to learn about them.
Besides,
I've been putting off my boy Sanguineous.
Besides that, for everyone else, DK, where can they find you?
Everywhere at DK Diamantes, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Real DK Diamantes on Instagram, because I'm not rich enough to buy out the rights to it. Where do they find you?
They find me at twitch.tv/Bricky.
Okay.
I stream almost daily. We got lots of other fantastic things that also say Bricky on them, like Twitter and YouTube. You can, of course, find Shy at either Quite Shallow or Quiet Shy in many different areas. And as for that, I am really excited for the next one. I'm super excited. We will see you in a week.
Yay!
In a week. Lament. We'll be back in a week.
Okay. Thanks for the videos. We learned about orcs for the first time. Yeah, for the first time. Nothing has like covered them yet. I don't think Bricky has done the faction part 2 yet, right? So yeah, we still have to check out faction part 2, but
to give herself a taste of what it's like to be not as clumsy. The ghosty girl who goes to game. What she doing, what she playing. Everybody playing cool. It's the coolest of the ghouls. Strong will end a lot of
I'm just seeing his life, but I don't know what we'll watch next time. You guys brought up the Lamenters, but I've been wanting to learn about Sanguineous for a while, so maybe Sanguineous and the Blood Angels will be what we learn about next. Yeah, I don't know. You guys can always submit stuff in the Discord. Let's see. Yeah, you can submit video ideas in the Discord. And let me see. Let me see if I can do this. Yeah, I don't know what is going on with my computer, but things are being slow. Let's see. Oh, perfect. I can redirect you guys to Leah. We can raid Leah. So that's what we're gonna do. Leah's live. She's playing Nikke. She's doing the event that I was doing yesterday. Oh. I feel like I haven't seen her to raid her or anything in a while because she's been sick. So let's raid Leah. And we're raiding her on YouTube too. So you guys, I can redirect you now. Yippee! I can redirect you to YouTube. I know it's not Warhammer, but I feel like Leo's right up there with anyone's sense of humor. So I appreciate if you stick around for the redirect. Otherwise, I really appreciate everything today, guys. Thanks for the support. Thanks for chatting with me, watching with me, learning with me, helping me understand some more Warhammer lore. I hope you have a good night or day wherever you are. Please take care of yourself, drink plenty of water. I will be... oh yeah, Lotara is another one I want to learn about, Brian. Please, someone remind me on Discord. I'm not live tomorrow, but I think I am gonna do co-working on Thursday and Friday. We'll see how like crazy busy my work is, but that's the plan. So have a good night, guys, and
The friendly neighborhood ghost here to check in on all the lovely souls under her possession, hoping to give herself a taste of what it's like to be not as clumsy. The ghosty girl who goes to game, what she doing, what she playing, everybody playing cool, it's the coolest of the ghouls. Strong will end, a lot of ambition, can't see through them like apparitions, determined to bring only the best, getting the